change we've had.
Hi guys, MJ here. We are doing a special show tonight. I'm hoping that you'll be able to join. I know it was a last minute change of topic, but there has been some topic going on tonight. Let me just make sure that nothing pops up over here. We've been having some topic, a conversation tonight about relationships. Suzette Speaks was on the hot seat with the lead attorney. Oh my goodness, what a conversation. And I want to just keep the conversation going for anybody that may be available, especially the ladies, because it seems as if we have been taught wrong all of our lives, and we need to sort of get on the program, especially the single ladies, especially the educated single ladies that are looking or are open to get married. So I'm hoping that you can come and join me. I'm going to drop the link in a little bit. But before we do that, I'm going to just play a quick countdown and we shall be right back. All right, I'm not even going to wait for that intro to play. I want to get right into it, for the time is of essence tonight. Welcome, welcome, Community Solutions, and also the Facebook user. Come on over to Facebook. Come on over to YouTube. I would like to get into this immediately. Now, I know there has been an all-day, pretty much, conversation with the lead attorney and Suzette Speaks. Even the Godfather Kevin Samuels joined the stream. I came up towards the end and just put in my 2 cents. I'm going to invite Community Solutions to come and join me, and anybody else that wants to join the conversations. Not a problem, guys, not a problem. I want to get into a bit of a dialogue today. We have a few pointers. I have a few pointers from the earlier conversation that we want to bring up. and I'll just read those pointers to you. The first one is, would you move states to find a potential partner, husband, relationship? Would you move states or country even? The second one is, do you put your career before finding a partner, a husband, a okay, not a problem. Yeah, a partner. Do you put your career before finding a partner? And the other question is, um, if you've been listening to Kevin Samuels, do you agree with his philosophy of why women are still single, and if you're still single, are you prepared to change things in order to find a husband? So those are the main questions. Those are the main questions. Again, I'm going to repeat them for those of you just coming in. Those of you coming in, the question, we're going to be talking about relationships today. Typically we talk about tech stuff, and I'm going to drop one little tech tip in for you later on, but I really want to get us talking about relationships. That seems to be the main topic, the hot topic that everybody is talking about these days. So let me know your thoughts. If you want to come and join the panel, you are welcome to join. I have dropped the StreamYard link in the chat. You can come up on camera, or you can come up on audio only, and we can have a conversation about it. Welcome, 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 everyone. This is MJ Live. Typically, I always do talking about tech, but today I want to talk about relationships because there has been a conversation that's been going on with the lead attorney and Suzette Speaks. She was on the hot seat again today. And the question is about relationships. Why are successful, beautiful, educated women still single? Why is it? You think that they have all these things going for them. We have all these things going for us, but still we remain single for far too long. Why is it? Why is it? Do you have an opinion about that? Why are educated, beautiful, successful women still single? Do you have an opinion about it? Drop it in the chat room if you do. If you have an opinion about it, welcome, Veronica Bortz. Good to have you. I'd love to hear your opinion on this topic as well. Whether you're married, whether you're single, we can have a dialogue, because I'm married and I'm still able to give an insight on this topic. I'm going to go ahead right away and bring up Community Solutions to the stream. Greetings, Community Solutions. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I am doing well, 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 well. It's been a marvelous day. Marva Riley, if you'd like to come up as well, feel free. Just use that StreamYard link that is in the chat there. If you'd like to come up, we're just going to have a conversation. Nothing planned ahead of time. We're simply going to have a conversation about relationships. The big question of the day: why are beautiful, successful, educated women still single? Professor Black Ops is in the chat room, and I'd like to invite you up as well. Either they want to or they don't want to. Let's see what this says here. I want to speak to you in a second, Community Solutions. Either they want to or they do not know how to be reciprocal in their relationships. Come on up. You're invited to come and join the conversation. I got to find out who that voice is in the Facebook group, because it doesn't actually show the name in Facebook. So I'm going to invite you to come on over to YouTube. And again, anybody is invited to join this conversation. Community Solutions, they are too picky, says Veronica. That might be the case. That may be the case. I am staying out of the relationship panel. Not a problem. Professor Black Ops, not a problem. Okay, it's Kim J. Okay, Kim J is here. It's me, Kim J. Come on over to YouTube, Kim. Look at you'll see the link. Let me go ahead and drop the link again. I'm going to drop the YouTube link. Let's get ourselves situated here for a second, panel. Let's go ahead and share that YouTube link, because it's going to be easier for me to do everything from YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in the YouTube link on my Facebook page. and I'm going to also put it into my group. Nick Partain, we're going to come to you in a very brief second. This was kind of like a last minute decision to do this show because uh, there's been a conversation that's been going on for about 4 hours with the lead attorney, with Suzette Speaks, and Kevin Samuels even joined the stream. Um, okay, so let's get in. Nick Partain, Nick Spartan, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I was actually coming from the lead attorney stream also.
Ah, nice, nice. You're breaking up just a little bit, so we're going to hope that we have a clean stream. So let's going to start with community solutions. Community solutions. What is your take on that? And I'm going to just read the questions that I had. The main question is why are educated, professional, successful women still single? I'm going to mute your mic for a second, Nick Spartan. Community solutions. What? Any thoughts?
I think, well, you know what? I'll tell you from the perspective of a person who has known and grown up around a lot of different other ethnic groups of people. Um, Other ethnic groups of people look at education differently than we do. And then Suzette, I was in and out of the stream. I didn't
Okay,
stay the whole time, but Suzette mentioned how Black girls are raised to, well, Black American girls. I understand that I think her heritage is Jamaican,
that's right.
but Black American girls as well are pushed. They're pushed academically. Um, is it wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I
Hmm.
tell you what, if I had sons, I would push my sons academically, especially because I believe that where we go wrong is I know that a friend of mine who's a nurse and anesthetist, she was she was asking us in Facebook, should she prioritize her son football or the science technology program she has him in. I said most definitely the science technology. I said because what's the odds that he'll get picked up by the football league
Mm,
and not get hurt even if you do get picked up.
mm,
So there's this thing that we're and I really hope that we turn this around where
right.
we are not pushing the boys academically and to succeed in higher more like what Professor Black Ops is doing in technology, what you do as well, pushing them towards careers that yeah, you can tell your wife she can sit down and she don't have to worry because a lot of us are coming out of first generation poverty,
Ah,
so we don't feel safe unless
right.
you're just a multimillionaire telling me that I ain't got to work and we don't have to put no money aside. We can't even just use my check, even just for a cushion, just in case.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where that comes from. I don't think it's from a malicious place to hold it over the man's head that, oh, I'm educated, you ain't. No, I don't think that's where it comes from. It's like a safety net. And I can't, in good conscience, tell young Black women don't get that safety net for yourself just in case.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, even though you can pursue an education, you can still pursue a relationship as well. You know, you don't necessarily have to completely disregard a relationship and not focus on it. But I think as people, my parents are also from the Caribbean, and we were pushed for education. It wasn't so much focused on finding a relationship, but I don't think there's anything wrong with focusing on both. Is that possible to focus on both?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely it is. Mhm.
Okay.
It's
Let's go
it's
to.
it
Go ahead.
what
Go ahead.
happens. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no.
I
Go
was
ahead.
talking over you. What happens is, like I said, when you're coming out of trying to kind of pull yourself up to a level out of into a comfortable level in life, then you can do you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the
No, I don't.
pyramid? Maslow's hierarchy of needs states that that's like a psych. I think he was like a psychologist. It states that the bottom of the pyramid, the very first thing you want to do is take care of your physical needs, food, shelter, the basics, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
At the top of the pyramid is love and belonging. So if you're at the bottom of the pyramid where you're trying to get your basics fulfilled, then love and belonging is not what if you homeless, you're not worrying about no relationship.
Right.
You trying to get yourself out of homelessness and cushion your account so that you ain't got to worry about that no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So but in her case, I think I heard her say on a previous stream that she's somewhere in South Florida.
That's
When
right.
you're in a highly competitive area, that's a problem too.
Mm-hmm.
If she really wants, she needs to move around, maybe in like a smaller cities, um, where there's maybe military towns where there's high ratios of men. That you know what I mean. That might
Mm-hmm.
be, and she doesn't strike me as a type that throws her education in her face. Now I tell you this too. Sometimes people don't have to. You don't have to throw your education. Sometimes you use your vocabulary. Sometimes
Ah,
lets people know where you are in life, or you know what I mean.
yes. Yes.
But I don't think she's above blue collar. The last question asked her by another gentleman said would she get with a paralegal, and she said yes, she'd get with a paralegal if he was a good leader.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think she's classist where she's
No.
thinking I need somebody higher than me and this and that and the other, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you want
Uh-huh.
to be parallel or you want somebody above, that's there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Women from other ethnic groups are not told that, well, you just got to get somebody. They are very, especially European, they are very from even the olden times, from 1700s, 1600s, 1800s stuff. It was a society where women had their marrying up was considered a survival tactic.
Oh,
If you read
interesting.
those old classics like Jane Austen and all of
Yeah,
them, and
that's
and
true.
read Pride and Prejudice and all of them, it was
Yep.
always a matter of marrying up
Hmm.
in society to as a means of security.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So yeah.
Let's get our other guests' opinion on this topic. Nick Spartan, what do you think to the question? Um, why are beautiful, educated women are still single? Do you have me played in the background?
No, I have anything playing in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What is your response to that? Why beautiful, educated women are still single?
Well, I would say, well, it's the culture. I think the black culture, because the black culture is behind, and then black culture in a whole, we are mostly poor. So I mean, the lower class families is trying their way to um elevate themselves out of poverty. So in that effort, I mean, these kids have been guided to go to school and get a good education, and then there is not a separation between our boy educate and our girl educate. So I think that's now it often it causes girls now to pretty much go in the space of the boys them, and you have like girls and boys do the same thing, guided to the same path, and that oftentimes as a result of that, women now become masculine and masculine traits, and is not so much attracted to the men. So, and then you will see a woman occupying a lot of the male space, based on career choice and all of that. And
Very
it, it- yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things like that. I think that add ups over the years, and then the final product result in women not knowing what men want and how to behave in, that so men can see them in an attractive way and for like potential wife. So,
absolutely. You're so right. You've named quite a few things there, and it's like it's progressively getting worse for women because of them taking more of a leadership role in society, right? With their education, with just being self-sufficient.
right,
Now, women may even say, "I don't even need a man. I can fend for myself as far as my finances. I can do a lot of things for myself." And then you say they become masculine. Their masculine energy kind of takes over because they're usually the breadwinner of the family, right?
right,
And then so now when men are looking at them, they're not in their feminine energy. They come across as more aggressive, so forth,
right.
and they're not looking for that kind of woman. So that's a very, very good point, Nick Spartan. Now,
Yeah,
as we listening to the discussion, you were listening to the discussion. You said you came from there, right?
right. I was just over there.
Did you hear the whole thing?
Maybe half of it, maybe like the last half of the whole show.
So you heard when Kevin Samuels came on?
Yeah, yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard that part.
Very, very interesting. Now,
Right.
when Kevin Samuels came on, and everybody, for those who may not know, Kevin Samuels is, we call him the Godfather. I'm going to add,
Right.
she saw my thunder to the stream as well. When the Godfather came on, and he just dropped some knowledge tonight about what men are looking for as far as feminine, more of the submissive types, and he has a whole list of things that men are looking for. It made me realize, you know what? He's actually right. Now, in the past, I've been a little bit resistant to his style of delivery, I would say. And I don't know who on this panel listens to Kevin Samuels.
Every once in a while, not very often, personally.
Right.
Yeah, I've listened to him religiously, kind of.
Okay.
I didn't hear the commentary tonight, but the other live he did with Suzette, I heard him briefly step in and give some pointers to her. Is he? I think his intentions are good. I didn't in the beginning. I didn't like him because I felt like he was too harsh. I don't feel like it on any way should I be harsh to a male or a man or a woman. I can critique you without brutality, but I if he's truly his heart is in the right place, he's really trying to help her. But best thing I can tell her is maybe get out of the city. She may have to go to some small town or something and find somebody ready to get married that's making some good money, maybe a blue collar guy making some good money, six figures or whatever. And she want to set aside. She says she want to set the job aside, maybe do YouTube, which is flexible. She can log on, while the kids sleep or whatever. Then that could work out for her,
That could work. She has a lot of options because she has a lot of stuff going for her. That's Suzette Speak. Because I even actually believe she could probably find what she wants here in South Florida, as long as she's not sort of on that path for education. Which of course she's already an attorney. So I'm going to just mute Nick Spartan for a second. There's a lot of feedback coming back from there. I'll bring you back in again, Nick Spartan. Community solutions. I think that with a slightly mind shift or a different mindset, when she gets back into her into that role of openness for a relationship, I believe that she could probably find somebody right under her nose, because she possibly could be overlooking somebody who's right here. But I wouldn't be opposed to moving to a different state, because she could do whatever she wants in any state or any country, as long as you've got internet connection, right? As long as you've got internet on your phone and your computer, you can be successful anywhere.
That's absolutely correct. I agree. You're right. I didn't think about that. I was thinking about it from the competitive level because I did step in and I heard her say how when they were in college, uh, the women, the Latinos and white and the Asian women was running them over trying to get to the black men in college. So I was thinking on a competitive level, what you know what I mean, what was happening with that. Because when you go into Miami is a party city like LA and New York. If she's really looking for that settled down life, I didn't get what part of Florida she was in because there are areas in Florida that are more family orientated and stuff like that. So I will say that, but you're right. I
Good
didn't
point.
factor in that she could have somebody that she's overlooking right under her nose, you know.
Right. Good point. And she's in South Florida. She's in the Miami area. I'm in Fort Lauderdale area. And you're right. There's places like Jacksonville. There's places like Tampa. I don't know what the ratio is like as far as successful people and up and coming professionals. I'm not quite sure about that. But let me also get um, Nick Spartan. I'm going to come to you. She stole my thunder in a second. Nick Spartan, as far as what you've heard today, what advice would you give to somebody like that speaks, who is beautiful? No doubt she's beautiful. She is very feminine. She's educated, she's smart, and she knows how to handle herself. What sort of advice would you give to her based on what you've heard today?
Well, I'm puzzled as to why she is still unmarried, unless it's just if it's just recently she made the transformation, because what I'm seeing now is basically traits that men are looking for. So I'm kind of puzzled as to why she's unmarried, unless she have just made a transformation recently. But I mean, if it's recently, then I think it's just a matter of time for her to, I mean, a guy to see her to find somebody. I don't think she will remain unmarried for much longer, being from the perspective of what I'm seeing right now. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much what I mean, because she sound the part and she, look the part. I can't really see what's going on apart from that.
Yeah, I think within between 3 and 6 months, she's going to have a partner.
Yeah, she
This
probably just made a transformation recently, so she probably, and so I think maybe that's why most of her adulthood, I think she was of a different view and of a different, maybe a more in her masculine form, but it seems like she have made some adjustment, and I think she'll be okay.
Right. My big guy journey is saying, is that Mellissa sound? That I don't think that's my sound. I believe that is the sound that's coming from Nick Spartan. I have a question for Black's Tropical Homestead. My husband and I do. What were you referring to on that? And big shout out to I'm gonna go through some big shout outs while I'm waiting for that question, that response. I'm gonna put you on mute again, Nick Spartan, because your sound is feeding back. There's a lot of crackling in someone's mic, and Nightbot is timing people out for no reason. Timing people out. What does that mean? I'm still brand new to the Nightbot thing. Are you still hearing that sound, Gail? I've just muted Nick Spartan. Are you still hearing that sound, Gail? Are you still hearing that sound, Gail? I know that there's a slight delay, so let me just go through to some of these comments here. I want to thank you all for joining us. We're having a conversation about relationships today. A little bit of a departure from. All right, perfect. It's Nick Spartan. Nick, I'm gonna say thanks for your comments today, and I'm gonna drop you down now because I believe your feedback is giving us some issues. But anything final to say before I let you go, Nick?
Okay. Yes. The thanks for the opportunity to voice my opinion. Well, I'm not sure about the sound. I'm outside and it's very quiet.
Oh, it's
I'm not
better
sure.
now.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what's going on. I know I had a fan inside blowing, but I turned that off and I come to a more more quietly outside. So I'm not
That's
sure
it.
if it's
That's it.
coming.
Gail, is that better now that Nick is outside? Let us know if this is better. Nick, you're in Jamaica?
Yes, I'm in Jamaica.
Okay, which part of Jamaica are you in?
Kingston, in Kingston.
Kingston. Nice, nice. Been there many times. My parents,
Okay.
my parents are from Jamaica also.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, are you single or married?
Yeah, I'm single. I'm actually facing the same situation that most women facing, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think it's kind of different for men. Maybe we'll,
Yeah,
we'll we'll come back. We'll have a different conversation about why men are still
single.
still
Yeah, yeah.
and if
'Cause that's another issue also. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't mind me asking, what age group are you in?
Yeah, I'm actually mid-30s right now.
Mid-30s, and you have children or no?
No children.
Okay, so you're actually in a very good position, very very good position. We definitely want to hear more. Let me see if yeah, they said the sound is good now. Beautiful. So we'll keep you right there, Nick. Okay. Let me go to She Stole My Thunder for a moment. Yeah.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, She Stole My Thunder. Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien, et toi?
Beautiful. How are
Hello.
you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And hello to my two other guest panelists as well. I hope both of you guys are doing good tonight.
We are doing
Yes,
great.
thank you. And hello, my dear. We've been interacting all day at people's chats.
I know. It's always a good thing. Always a good thing.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the same question. But before I do, I want to just actually give. I know that Community Solutions, you're still working on your channel, right?
Yeah, I am I'm planning to upload some stuff this week. I've got a live with Uncle Stu, and I want to invite you guys. I'm going to invite you individually and then invite you as a collective to a grand opening of things that you think you can do to improve your community.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's the theme of the channel is community solutions is things, even if it's just something as small as, a community center or something. Maybe your community is, doesn't have very many problems, but that's what I'd like to do. So I'm working on a schedule for that and questions to get ready for you guys.
All right. So get ready, guys. Community Solutions is coming. Is going to have a launch very, very soon. And also, Nick Spartan, do you have a channel?
No, well, I have a YouTube channel, but it's not like anything to promote, really.
Okay, no
Just,
problem.
yeah.
Just want to give you an opportunity. I'm going to put you back down in the sound. It seems to be coming back now. All right, so let's go back to She Stole My Thunder. The topic, the question of the day is, why are beautiful, educated women still single? What's your take on that? And I think you've probably been in most of the discussions around this with Suzette Speaks and the lead attorney, and
Mhm.
you may have even heard Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, show up on 2 occasions recently.
Yes, yes, I did. I saw there was a live today, actually. I believe that's what you're talking about,
Yep.
right? I
Yep.
wasn't able to catch all of it just because I was at work while it was on. But I did catch quite a bit of it. And my take, it's I'm definitely a single woman. I don't consider myself beautiful, but I'm definitely single. My personal take on it is part of it is a lot of women choose to be single.
Uh-huh.
We I know for me personally, and I'm just talking about my own personal experience. I'd rather be single right here, right now. I know I have a lot of things that I need to work on, a lot of issues that I feel that, I'm not ready to be married and in a relationship. So I think for a lot of women it's that as well, that they're making a conscious decision not to get into relationships. Part of it might just be that they're not finding the right guys. If you're talking about a beautiful, intelligent, successful woman, she's basically top tier, right? She's the quote unquote 1%. is she really going to hook up with just any guy?
Mm-mm.
Probably not. Exactly.
Right.
She's going to want a stern standards, but just like she's a rare woman, those top tier guys are also rare as well, and they're going to have a lot of competition as well. So even if she's saying, I want to get married and I have all these traits, her standards for a guy are going to be a lot higher, and the guys that meet those standards are going to be rare and in high demand, hence some of that difficulties. But to sort of touch on a little bit of I sorry, I think it's night shade. I'm not sure the guy's um name on the panel.
Oh, on the panel,
Sorry,
that's Nick Spartan.
Nick Spartan. Sorry, thank you. Nick had mentioned earlier as well that sorry, as I was asking, I lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness. Ah, sorry.
Not a problem.
Hopefully they'll get back to me. But that oh, I think I got it back. But basically, my point was that a lot of oh yes, he was talking about how back in the day, you would marry up a woman if like, and I think you were talking about that as well, where it's like you married people out of need, out of like, we have to get married, and what you bring to the table to show that, look, I'm the right person that you need to marry if you want to improve your life. But now that both men and women, what guy doesn't know how to cook? What guy doesn't know how to clean?
Sure.
What woman doesn't have a job? What woman doesn't have an education? But a lot of people use that as a negative. I'm going to postulate this as, it actually is a positive, because rather than now us marrying each other because we have to marry each other, because, oh, how am I going to pay the bills, how am I going to survive the next day, we can now marry somebody for who they are as a person, right? So we're now marrying somebody not because oh well, and a lot of us did get married because we had to, and maybe we weren't getting married to the right guy, that maybe the guy was maybe doing things, or we had to put up with a guy cheating or being abusive, or the guy had to put up with the fact that the wife maybe wasn't the best cook or something. We had to tolerate a lot of things because, well, what choice do we have? We have to get married, we have to have kids nowadays. I don't want kids. Who cares? There's how many people on this planet? The world isn't dependent on me to have kids. Like, I have kids because I want to have kids, or I don't want to have kids because I don't want to have kids. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So
Uh-huh.
now a lot of those relationships can be built on other things. So I think it puts us actually in a great position where we can enter into relationships that are actually meaningful relationships, where we can take our time to really make sure that we're meeting other people that are right for us, rather than, well, I have no choice since I'm a quote unquote a five woman, so I have no choice but to marry this guy. What choice do I have? Now
Mm.
we have choices. We can decide for ourselves. That's my take. But again, I'm a single person, so take my opinion with a grain of salt on when it comes to relationships.
No. Those points are very, very valid, because you're coming from the perspective of a single woman. So, and that's who we're talking about. Let's talk specifically about Suzette Speaks, because she has been out. She's put herself out there. We've been listening to her for several streams, at least four that I can remember now. What is your opinion about her? What she said, even what the lead attorney has been saying, and even what Kevin Samuels has said on two occasions. Any thought about those things?
Well, I think as far as her personally, it's kind of hard to pinpoint what to say about her, because like everybody else on the panel, it is surprising that she is still single. At the very least, we would have expected her to be in a relationship. So maybe there's, like you said, maybe there is somebody in her life right now that is telling her, yeah, you know what, you want to get married, I want to marry you, I'm the guy for you, I'm the guy, pick me, and she's just maybe not clicking on it, or but with her, I think a lot of it, maybe because she's focused like everybody else has said on other things in her life, that she's not seeing the obvious, you know.
Mm.
um but I think if she really wants to get married, it's going to happen. There
Yeah.
are apps, there are dating apps, there, God knows if she literally went, had a video on YouTube saying, "Hey, I'm getting married. I'm accepting applicants." She probably would get a million CVs of guys saying, "Yeah, Pippi, come on, I'm single too."
Right.
But I think for her, a lot of it, and that's what's great for so many women, is that when you put yourself in a position where you take care of the way you look, you make sure that you are educated in the right way, or at the very least you present yourself in the right way, and you show guys that, look, I can cook, I can clean, but hey, if need be, and we're desperate for money, I can get a job, I have skills that will allow us to bring in the money. uh, Men will fight for you, men will line up and do whatever they need to do to be with you. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of women aren't putting themselves in that position like her. And part of it too is she's making it clear that she's not perfect either, because the thing is that, like, when people make themselves look like I'm perfect, the second they show those little cracks, everybody makes it look like it's a lot worse than what it actually is. But she say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I'm a human being. I make my mistakes." She's not always going to say the right things all the time everywhere, and that's fine. And she's putting herself out there saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm still willing to take a risk on love, even though I know everything about divorce. I've seen the lead attorneys, videos, and I know the statistics. I'm still willing to take a chance on it, and willing to get married, or at least we want to get married."
Yeah. Um, I'm just going to just go to some of the chats right now and just give a few shout outs. Welcome to Veronica Bortz. She said something earlier. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Marva Riley's here. Welcome, welcome, Marva. Welcome to the Facebook user. And again, if you're viewing on Facebook, come over to the YouTube. Just either search my name on YouTube or just use the link that you see in the Facebook group and on the Facebook page. Um, Either way, they want to or they don't want. We spoke about that already. Again, that's a Facebook user. Come over to YouTube. Professor Black Ops, how you doing, my friend? How are you doing tonight? What's going on with you? I think I've played every last one of your videos, Professor Black Ops. I put it on stream one night. I saw some of them and I let it play throughout the night. And that's what we do to encourage each other and to support each other by playing each other's videos to get our watch hours up. To get our watch hours up, guys. They're too picky. So women are too picky. You know what? I used to be very, very picky when I was coming up, when I was growing up. But at some point you got to say, you know what do I really want? Do I really want a husband, or do I want to be a picky single lady? Right? So we kind of have to
Yeah.
sometimes make some adjustments. It's Kim J. Kim J, come over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube if you're still here. Marva, I agree. I agree with one reason being too picky. Yeah, that's the run. That's the truth. Let us not be too picky. And Kevin Samuels made some really good points about what men are looking for. If you're not familiar with Kevin Samuels, I would invite you and encourage you to go over to Kevin Samuels' page. It might sound abrasive at you when you first hear it, because I'm going to agree with you, Community Solutions, that Kevin Samuels does tend to be a little bit harsh, offensive when he's speaking to ladies. I don't necessarily think it's necessary, but if he's having millions and millions of views and millions of subscribers, then he must be doing something right. What would you say to his approach, community solutions? And not saying that he would ever change his approach because it's working for him, but how what would you say to his approach? Let's leave it at that.
Um, I think that um he has a large following of males because that's how many. I don't know if you watched the chat as they were talking, but a lot of those guys were like beating down some of those women that were calling and talking about their weight and stuff like that. You know, I was sitting here thinking while she stole my thunder was talking. I'm gonna tell you something. My mother was a single parent, but our extended family, we've got 50 and 60 and 30 and 40-year marriages. And a lot of the women that they're married to on these scales that these guys put up would be a 4 or 5, but they're good wives.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because when I go there, you go visit them. There's no arguing. There's no bitterness or no, they're not unhappy marriages. So I'm like, I'm wondering if this generation is a little too superficial. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
when somebody in the chat says too picky, I think that can go on both sides. Are you looking at just the looks, or are you looking at the overall total person? That you got to be careful with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, because like I said, my aunts and uncles, they don't look the same as they did when they were 20, and they're 50 and 60 years married, going through cancer and all these other lifetime traumas, children dying. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's the problem with her. I'm not sure if she's too picky. I can't call it, because she did tell that guy that was a paralegal she would get with a paralegal, but she also mentioned that there are a lot of guys who kind of like, um what's a kind word for bum?
They call them the Pookies on the Ray Rays, right?
Listen, they got Pookies and Ray Rays that are middle class. They come from middle class families that just don't want to work. Okay, so I've encountered a lot of that. So and a lot of times, man, like I told Uncle Stu, these good guys, y'all don't want to acknowledge these lazy guys who want to come to the table to a feast and eat, and you didn't bring anything.
Uh-huh.
And then you want to say, "Oh, she's too educated." Well, hell, she can't quit her job if you don't work. So I mean, I don't know a kind way to say it. I know I'm a little abrasive sometimes, but it's just the truth.
Yeah. So money and you know, how much people make is always a big part of this conversation. It always is. Every time I listen to, the lead attorney, Kevin Samuels, not so much Suzette Speaks, but it's always a big part of the conversation.
Because
Um,
finance will kill your marriage. And I seen one episode of Divorce Court. This guy was like, he had his wife and 5 kids homeless, and she was working, and he wanted to know why she didn't want to have sex with him. So it's like, it's important. It's your quality of life. You going to be in a neighborhood where your kids got to hit the floor from drive-bys, or you know what I mean? Y'all sleeping in the car. It's cold.
uh-huh,
It's winter.
uh-huh.
No, money is important.
It's very important. It's very
So
important. But what I would say as well is, going back to the whole education thing, and I'm just basically echoing, I think, with what you said, or was it she stole my thunder. We were taught to have an education so we can have our own money and be successful as young women. Um, but it seems like now it's backfiring on us, right? They're saying that if you come to the table with your education, not that you're wielding it in their face, but that you come as educated, and even like you said, community solutions, just by the way how somebody speaks, you can tell whether they're educated or not. Um, to some degree, it's having an adverse effect on them getting relationships. Why would the education, or why would the fact that a woman can make her own money deter a man from being with her?
there are men who it would not deter. Um, I hate to say this, but it just seems like it's in the black community. Um, Facebook, Zuckerberg is married to a doctor. She's a practicing doctor.
Uh-huh.
A lot of these guys was I think what's the name of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. I think his wife also is I don't know. A lot of these people meet in college. I don't know why our community is down on that. And one, I was listening to another panel, and this woman, she brought a very valid point. We need educated people in the Black community.
Hmm. Of
We need teachers and judges and doctors and nurse practitioners.
course.
You know, we need these people. So I really want us to stop putting these people down. Now, if the men are going to collectively come together and just rush these colleges and say, hey, I'm about to get this, you could sit down, stay at home, and take care of the kids. Now, if I told Suzette Speaks to quit everything and wait for her knight in shining armor, which how are her bills going to get paid? I mean, can I in earnest say that she'll find somebody that's going to come in and, you know, um, I think it's just an insurance policy. I
Mm.
can't for certain without a shadow of a doubt tell her that yeah, you're gonna meet somebody, he's gonna come in and just you can just stay at home. I can't with certainty tell her that.
Yeah. And like you said, it's an insurance policy. Women have to make sure that they are able to fend for themselves, just in case they don't make just in case they don't meet a man. But I would go back to the point where I believe that you can have both. You can have an education early, and then you can focus on preparing yourself to be somebody's wife. Again, I'm talking about something that I didn't do at an early age. Um, Suzette Speaks also mentioned about just being in the sort of society to be open to meeting men as an early age. Things like the cotillion, it's like a coming out type of a celebration. You're coming out into society at the age of what, 16 or 18 or whatever, and getting to know what are your options as far as eligible men around at that age. What's potential? Um, you know, in college, of course, you can start to see who's out there. A lot of people meet their partners in college, and then just being out in society, being out in social clubs, being out in the world, being open to it. Because even in your early 20s, a lot of people are pursuing their education so hard that they're not seeing the men that are around them. And maybe it's also to do with the expectations of a man. What other expectations of relationships in your 20s? What was it like for you in your 20s? Community solutions. And I'm going to come back to She Stole My Thunder in a second.
My 20s, I was in Los Angeles. Los Angeles became a place where the Black community kind of disintegrated a little bit and everything just became interracial dating. You didn't see very many Black married couples. You saw a lot of interracial couples, which
Mm.
is I think carries over into today. Um, so I had relationships, but they didn't go anywhere. You know, I worked. I didn't work. I worked at Blue College. I worked in emergency room. I didn't work up. I wasn't a professional or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
I was able to take care of myself,
Right.
but it was nothing spectacular. But I that's why I said she may want to leave that single city with a plethora of women who are uh, vying for those men that she might be that market that she might be looking for. She
Hmm.
might want to, start spreading her wings and casting a wide net into other areas. Going to
Good.
mixers, I met a lot of men
That's
going
it.
to like really good quality men going to mixer, going to conventions, volunteering, stuff like that, you
Yeah.
know. And just traveling around in different cities and different states.
Right. And I actually know her because we attend a lot of the similar events. She's a TV presenter. She's an attorney here, and she's a TV presenter, and she gets involved in a lot of community events. She even has her own, let's call it what do you call it, like a whole community of her own, where she gets together and she has her own programs. Typically it's women. Actually, it's a women's group. So that might be another issue right there, right? I just thought about
Yeah,
that.
maybe you may need to include some men, just to find out things that men like and or things that men are interested in and see if you can include that in the group to make a mixer or
Yeah.
where people can meet each other, you know.
Right, right, right. That's a very, very interesting point. Um, I wanted to see if we can get Nick Spartan up again without the crackling. If we get the crackling, then we might have to just take you down again. But I want you to just expound on your point that you've just dropped in the private chat there. Nick?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, expound on that. Read your question, or read your comment, and then expound.
Yeah, so I was saying, I think it's the intention of women going to college is the problem, and not exactly that they are going to college or get an education. What I meant is that, for instance, you go to college to get an education because you want to use that to say, you're independent and you don't need a man, rather than to have the education to supplement a man to say, okay, if something happened and he happened to can't make money for a while, then my education can allow us to survive until he can get back on track. So I think that's the balance that we need to find right there.
Very good point. Very good point. Um, money is very important, and sometimes let me just going to take your audio off again. Sometimes it's going to be the man that's holding up the household. Other times you never know, it could be the woman that's holding up the household. Now if she doesn't have any education, imagine what situations they would be in. And I think it was Suzette herself said that at some point in her life, her father was laid off and her mother was holding the household together. Other times, of course, the father is the main breadwinner. So the education is so important. Never we should not even though we're having these conversations, it doesn't mean that education is not important, but we kind of have to have a balance. And I like what Marcia says here. I like the angle from where She Stole My Thunder came. She said there are a lot of things she has to work on right now. Then later on, Millissa mentioned preparing yourself for marriage. Now, again, this is assuming that you want to be married. Assuming that you want. Not everybody wants to be married. Not everybody wants to have children. So depending on what you want, there is a level of preparation. Oh, the lead attorney is right here. I wonder if you can join us for a second, even if it's for 1 second. I would love to have the lead attorney join
Come
us.
on, lead attorney, come get this smoke.
I
We
know
need
he's
some
been
men up
on
here. We
a
got just one man, and he's a lone wolf.
I know he's been on a 4-hour session, so I'm not going to hold you to it if you can't. But I'm so happy to see the lead attorney right here on my stream. I did pop into his for a brief second. If the lead attorney can just, even if it's not on camera, just come in and say hi and just give your perspective real quick if you can. I would love that. I mean, guys, we are among celebrities here. The lead attorney is a celebrity. 20 years divorce attorney, the highest level as a mediator in the state of he's eating in the state of Atlanta. He is amazing. He's amazing. Let me tell you. Let me just stop and tell you a little bit about the lead attorney, guys. He has been doing this YouTube thing for about just either between 1 and 2 years, something like 1.5 years, 2 years, somewhere like that. And he only got monetized, I believe it's this year, January, if I'm not mistaken. It's not been that long. And already he has 65,000 subscribers. All right, compared to my little 300 and something. Listen, I'm building my channel, guys. Let me just get into the spotlight here for a second. I'm building my channel, guys, and I want you to come and join me. We're going to have more conversations because it looks like people need to talk. People need to talk, and we need to iron out this thing with relationships. So as much as I'm going to be doing technology, which I'm still going to be doing, we're going to be talking about relationships. And I'm going to just piggyback off what is working, guys. I need to get my hours up. It's actually pretty interesting, though, these conversations. Now, I'm not a single lady. I've been married 7 years. And for the most part, you never hear me talking about the fact that I'm married. Most people don't even know that I'm married. So, guys, I want you to be a part of this. The lead attorney is here. He's having something to eat right now. He's been on with Suzette Speaks for about 4 or 5 hours just recently, just before I joined on. And the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, joined his stream 2 times. Now, Kevin Samuels is huge in these YouTube streets. He has what? Millions and millions of subscribers. He's big. And Kevin Samuels is the name that everybody talks about as far as, you know, relationships and the manosphere and all of that good stuff. A lot of the people who are new to the YouTube, because I have some friends that are not familiar with this direction that I'm going with YouTube. You won't even know. You probably won't even heard of the name Kevin Samuels. You probably wouldn't have heard the name the lead attorney. Big shout out to Gail Lockett, who is moderating, always supporting all the YouTube channels. Listen, guys, this YouTube thing is big. It can be big. And I want to go back to the lead attorney because we are in a group. It's his Patreon, and he is teaching us all of the mistakes that he's made so that we don't make them. He's teaching us how we can grow our channel, how we can get our subscribers, how we can engage with our audience, how we can give good content and make this thing work for us in what, 3 months, 6 months? I can't remember the time frame after he got monetized. He's making like $25,000 a month, $25,000 a month. All right. And he says that he's on the low end. People are crushing it. 100,000 a month, 200,000 a month, all the way up there. And he believes that he's actually on the low end as far as how much people are making on YouTube. All right. So I just wanted to tell you about what this YouTube thing is doing. And that's why I've made a switch in my show. We're going to get back to this relationship talk in a second. As you guys know, in the past, my shows have been about playing people's music. I won't be playing their music anymore. The reason is because I cannot get monetized if I'm playing copywritten music. I've had recording artists, famous recording artists, up and coming recording artists. That has been the style of the show. That's no longer the style of the show, guys. Now we're going into a different level. You got to change. You've got to adapt. You've got to make this thing win for us. So that's where we're headed. But we've got a lot of great people in here. A lot of them are YouTubers. Let me give a big shout out to all the YouTubers that are in here, and just shout out to them as well, you guys. We have Community Solutions who's on the panel. We have I'm going to just shout out we have Professor Black Ops is here. Professor Black Ops, amazing YouTuber, cyber security for the people, amazing stuff there. We also have Gail Lockett, who is the moderator of all time for all of the YouTubers. She's amazing. We have She Stole My Thunder. She's on the panel. I'm going to get back to you guys in a second. This is just a slight break because I want to give respect to the lead attorney and just hold on for a second. I want to give a big shout out to How to Say BS 101. I believe you're a fellow YouTuber. Wicked, wicked, wicked. My Vivid Life, absolutely amazing YouTuber. You got to check these people out. You got to check out all of these channels. And if you want all of the YouTubers, if you want to come up, feel free to come up and we could actually spend a couple of minutes on your channel if you like. Big Guy Journey produced the second episode of your podcast, but he's got a YouTube channel talking about his journey of losing over 200 pounds, guys. He's telling people how he did it and what that has meant to him. Oh my goodness. I want to talk to all of these people at some point. Black Tropical Homestead is here. Another YouTuber, another amazing YouTuber in the building right now. Big shout out to you. And let's see who else is there. Big Guy Journey spoke about that. Black Tropical Homestead. Let's see, who else do we have in here? As the YouTubers, I think that might be it. Welcome, Robert Phillips. Yep. Welcome, Robert Phillips, Tina Azell. Welcome to Gary Marcia and all of the others. Let's see. If you're on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. If you're on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. This is where it's happening, guys. I'm going to be actually not even going to be going on Facebook very, very soon. I just want to wean you off. I want to wean you off. Have I missed anybody, Gail? Have I missed anybody in the chats? I'm going to get back to the discussion. Michael Miller, welcome. I want to shout out all the YouTubers in the house tonight. I want to shout out all the YouTubers. Welcome, Novelty, welcome. Michael Miller, everybody. All right. So the point is that I'm trying to make here is that YouTube is the bee's knees. Okay, let's get back to our discussion. Where were we? Let's talk about a question came up earlier about would you move state or city or country for a relationship? She stole my thunder. I'm going to go to you on that.
I would, because again, my perspective is I am single. I don't have any plans on getting married. So for me, if I were going to be in a relationship, it has to be a hell of a guy to tell me, you know what, to convince me that, you know what, you're worth me not only being in a relationship with you, but that, hey, you know what, this relationship is so important that yes, I would, for me, when it comes to relationship, it's all or nothing.
Okay.
Either, like either we're in a relationship, we're getting married, we're having kids, or it's I'm just in my corner by myself. You know what I mean? Because I can. Oh,
Oops.
I yeah, so I can be single on my own. You know what I mean? It's like it, and to me, it's like a job. Like if that job is important for me, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I keep that job, and that whatever, if I need to work 50 hours to ensure that I keep the job and get a promotion, then that's what I'm going to do. If I need to move to stay in the relationship, then that's what. But yeah, there's some relationships too. You have to realize, okay, you know what? Maybe this is the opportunity for us to go our separate ways. Because sometimes too, we'll commit to things that yeah, you might need to step back from sometimes. And both men and women, we kind of need to acknowledge when it's time to just cut our losses, and when it's time to, you know what, let me move if that's really what needs to happen in order for us, because I have the kind of job I can do it anywhere. I can be a
Yeah.
secretary anywhere. I don't need to stay in my city to do that. I can
Right.
find that job anywhere. You know what I mean? So it's
Okay.
like, yeah, so for me, if it's important, if that's really what's priority for me, that's what I'm gonna do. If
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm
yeah,
going to come back to you on that.
yeah.
I want to actually give a big, huge shout out to the lead attorney right now. The lead attorney, how you doing, sir?
I am doing well. How are you doing, Millissa Jayne?
I am doing amazing. It's so nice for you to join us tonight. I know it's been a busy, busy time for you, but even just for you to stop by for a second, I really appreciate it.
No
What did
problem.
you have for dinner today?
Yes, listen, I always eat the same thing for lunch and dinner. I'm on, these these white boys out there in California and Silicon Valley, they're always trying to squeeze every single drop out of their bodies, out of their minds in terms of efficiency, in terms of time. And they try to elongate the half-life of decisions. And so one of the things that they'll do is, they'll go into the mall and buy the same 10 pairs of pants, 10 pairs of, or 10 shirts. Maybe they get them in different colors, but that way they never have to think about what they're going to wear. Probably the most famous person who used to do that was Steve Jobs, right? He was
Right,
known for
right.
wearing the same thing. And, they eat the same thing every day, and I've been doing that for a long time. Really,
Uh,
not really long compared to them, but probably like a year and a half. And it's super interesting, and I absolutely love it. And I don't have to think about what I'm going to have for lunch, what I was going to have for dinner. The last person that I dated, I was in a relationship earlier in the year,
uh-huh.
and she would always think, okay, what am I going to do for lunch? And then 4 hours later, oh, what am I going to cook for dinner? And I was like, man, to do that day after day after day, which, in fairness is what, almost everybody does, right? But, to make all these decisions, studies have shown that it really costs you to make decisions. We wake up in the morning with a certain amount of brain power, a certain amount of capacity, and that's all we got. And we can use it up. And so, being efficient in terms of making your decisions stretch is a kind of way to live life. So I tried it out, and I felt like, I discovered that I loved it. So I've been doing that for maybe about the past year and a half. Now, sometimes I go to restaurants or something like that, right? But when I'm at home, it's the same thing for lunch. It's like this. What I do is I take ground turkey and I season it, and I get like a can of Progresso chicken noodle soup, and then I will put vegetables in it. I'll put like bell peppers, the red ones, the yellow ones, and the green ones. I'll put corn. I'll put the long string beans, and then I'll put broccoli. So I got my vegetables. I've got all the protein from the ground turkey, and I season it real well, and it's delicious and it's quick. I can do it all in under 10 minutes. I never have to look up. Do I have everything I need to cook and this and that? And I, usually twice a week I'll make all of the ground turkey. So then it's already prepared. So it's super quick, super efficient. So it's not, it's not for everybody. Usually when people find out I'm living like that, they're like, "Man, Lee, you need a wife," right? But a lot of guys on the West Coast are living like this, and I decided to try it myself, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's great. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this run of conversations with yourself and Suzette Speaks, and the fact that this is the first time that Kevin Samuels has called in, the first, at least period. He's called in twice.
Right.
But what is it, do you think, about this particular topic and, the dynamics between yourself, Suzette Speaks, that led Kevin Samuels to actually, first of all, hang out in the chat room, but then to actually call in? What do you think it was?
Yeah, it's amazing. Now I am a low man on the totem pole, in terms of a network that consists of Kevin Samuels and O'Shea Duke Jackson and MTR. And I'm just like a baby, trying to move into the network. So, he knows who I am because of my affiliation with O'Shea. And, a lot of times he would come into the chat and just comment. He would never come up. And the reason that I met, I was kind of going back and forth a little bit with Lauren and the Lapeef show. He actually emailed me just out of the blue and told me to go over there. So I went over there and they let me up. And that's how I had, I think, 2 or 3 episodes with them. It was from him reaching out to me, but he knows of me through the O'Shea, Duke Jackson, and that type of network, right? So that's kind of how he knows of me.
Right.
And then with these videos, he finds out the videos because Lord knows I tag him in them. I put that. I put the hashtag and the @ symbol all over. It was like, hey, man. So, when he comes up, he certainly doesn't have to show up, of course. So when he makes an appearance, it's a huge thing. He has a lot of stuff to do with his time. So to spend a few minutes over here with a small channel like mine is it's awesome. And in the Black manosphere, on the Black side of YouTube, relationships between Black women and Black men are really the number one topic.
It really is.
And if that's the number one topic, he's kind of the number one guy in the number one topic. So it makes sense that he would show up in a place where that's being discussed. And so I'm super appreciative of him giving us his time and his perspective. But yeah, it's been super interesting. And relationships are a huge thing right now in Black YouTube. They're huge, right? It's on everybody's mind.
It is. I had to kind of jump on because you actually mentioned something today that made me say, you know what, I kind of need to jump into this conversation a little bit, because there was a couple of similarities. Obviously, Suzette Speaks is of Jamaican parents, and I am too. So I identified with her with that, as
Mhm.
well as the both of us are in South Florida, and I personally know her. We both attend a lot of media events together and so forth.
Wow.
But when you said you wanted to hear the women's perspective, even though I'm not a single woman, I just thought I would just to jump in and share what I had.
I
So
appreciate that too. I pulled you up out of order, and I wanted everybody to know, I got there's a special place in my heart for you, right? So
I really appreciated that. I really appreciate. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that I'm part of your Patreon. Just talk about your Patreon. What you're doing for us.
I'm trying. Listen, no one join my Patreon right now because it's the end of the month. It's when you join a Patreon at the end of the month, you're asking to be set up, right? So don't do it. But it is about helping people start their YouTube channels. And one of the reasons why I was going to quit a couple of times is because I kept making mistake after mistake. And so I needed to find out all of this stuff on my own. And I'm sure there have been people that have quit YouTube, or people who've decided just to let their channel just stagnate because they're done with it. They're not doing it the right way. And so once I got out of that and just started finding out how to do it through trial and error, then my channel was able to grow. And it's been growing, and sometimes it'll grow faster than other times. So sometimes I'll have a week or two where it's just shooting up. Another time I'll have a week or two where it's just, doing its thing, but it's always going up. So I decided to start a Patreon to help other people do and get their YouTube channels off the ground. And I love it. Really, to be honest with you, I like doing these more, doing the Patreon stuff more, talking to people more than I do talking about, Dr. Dre getting served at his grandmother's casket. I don't really want to talk about that too much. It's not very interesting to me. But
Yeah.
helping people start their own channels and seeing what my YouTube channel has done, in my life, it's created relationships that I have with other people that I never would have met, never would have interacted with before. So I think it's fantastic. And a lot of older people like me, it's hard. We need people like you who know how to use this tech stuff. There's a lot of older people like me who, even though we're not very tech savvy, we have a lot to share. We have a perspective. So I absolutely want people to start a YouTube channel to share, their perspective and their knowledge. And in doing that, it helps inform the whole group. And for example, the stream that we had today, I think, with me and Suzette, we're able to talk, and then some other women join the panel as well. I think there was a lot of like, oh, okay, this is how y'all think about stuff. Oh, okay, right. Especially in terms of higher education and things of that nature. So I think everyone should have a YouTube channel if they can. I think it's fantastic. So I really do want to help people try to get theirs off the ground and avoid the mistakes that I made, which were many.
Yeah, such good knowledge. You guys, if somebody could just so Gail's just dropped the lead attorney's YouTube channel. Just check out the channel. Here's another. He also has a button that goes to his what's it called? Elementary.
Oh yeah, the YouTube Elementary. I've been slacking on that, to be honest. I need to get on it. Running two channels is so hard, guys. If you got the compunction and the drive, you can do it. But shoot, just to run one channel is hard enough. But
and then you're also putting together a course. That must be. You said that's kicking your butt, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm just, I was so excited, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put this in it and that in it, and I'm going to knock it out. I let my channel kind of stagnate. I went for a whole week without making any content, focusing on that damn course, and only like 10% is done. It's like, oh my gosh, there's so much in it, because I wanted a course. I was making so many mistakes. And so I was talking to O'Shea Duke Jackson, and I said, man, you don't have a course or anything? I said, I'm looking to buy a course. There's one I got my eye on. It's $500. Like, you don't have a course? I would much rather give it to you than, shout out to all the white people, right? But it's like, if we can keep, money in the community, I would love that. But he was in medical school. He's making 5 to 7 videos a day. He doesn't have time for a course. So, that's been rattling in the back of my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a course. If there's no course for us, then I will step up and make it. But now I realize why there's no course.
It's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, to justify such a fee Now, I think the fee is cool because, I charge $250 an hour if someone wants to meet with me for an hour for me to review their channel, right? So with 2 consults, that's $500.
Mhm.
And what I would see is that people would make 2 consults and 3 consults and 4 consults because I would get them to a certain point and they're like, oh, they got different questions. So then they want to make another consult. And then they get to that point, oh, I got different questions. So, after 2 sessions, I was like, well, what if I just make a course that instead of you get 2 hours, what if you get 10 hours, let's say? What if you get 8 hours, 12 hours? I still don't know how long this damn thing is going to be, but it's going to be way more than 2 hours and it's going to give so much value. So that's kind of the idea of it. There's no course that talks about live streaming. All of these courses out there, they talk about making standalone videos. And I'm also talking about that. But in terms of live streaming, how to use, Ecamm, how to use the regular YouTube live streaming option that they have, how to use StreamYard, how to set your stuff up, how not to struggle stream, which I still do, right? So even the mistakes that I make, put everything that I know into this course and just sell it for the price of 2 consults. So it's going to be a tremendous value, but at the same time, it is killing me. It's so much. I didn't realize how much it is until it's so much. And when I do my I'll tell you a little secret. When I do my my Patreon sessions, you guys ask questions and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll put those questions in the course as well. I'll do videos and modules answering those questions because sometimes it's hard to think about everything, right?
Right.
And so it's gonna be good if I can ever finish it. It's killing me. Exactly.
You could actually probably chop up some of that stuff and use it if you want to.
I can. I used one video on the Patreon about scripting. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's actually one of the videos that's going to be in the course. Yeah.
I love those sessions because it gives us a chance as members to ask the questions that we might be struggling with, struggle with streaming.
Yes. And the great thing about this course too is that it's going to be updatable. So if you ask me a question and I'm like, oh, that's actually a great question, Millissa Jayne, I didn't think about that, I can sit down and make a 10-minute video and just upload that immediately onto the course. So
great. And just to be a part of this community with other people who are doing the same thing as you. Community is so important because something that the intentional millionaire might ask, I might not have thought about it, but because it applies to me as well. We all learn from each other's growth. It's amazing.
Exactly. You're exactly right. So I'm super excited about it. Disappointed at the same time that it's so much work, but I know once it gets done, I'll be happy.
You'll get there. So let's just go back to the topic at hand with Suzette Speaks.
Yeah.
A lot of great conversations. I think I've heard all of them. And just to sum it up, because I thought today's was really good. The way how the Godfather Kevin Samuels came in and he gave some really, really good points. And it makes us think who were raised in a way where, education is first, go after your goals, go after your dreams was first and foremost. It made me sort of take a step back, because if I was single, I would say, you know what? These are all good points that I need. If I want to get married, if I want to get a husband, I would have to change a lot of things for myself. All right. So if you could just summarize, if possible, I know you can talk for as long as you like. If you want to summarize, what should be the next steps now? I know that you have a session with her next week where she's going to turn the tables on you.
Yeah, she's going to cross-examine me.
And as a matter of fact, before you give your sort of summarization, could you just introduce yourself to anybody who may not know you? I love when you do this.
No. Yeah. Hello, guys. I am the lead attorney. Hope you guys are doing well. Yes. If you don't know me, mucho gusto, right? I am the lead attorney, 20-year divorce attorney here out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I just try to give you guys the legal side of things of stories that come up in the news. So that's kind of what I do. And honestly, this relationship thing has been something new. One of the things that I tell people who make consults with me about their YouTube channel, they always say, "Oh, well, what should I talk about?" And one of the things that I tell them, there are about 4 or 5 big things that you can discuss, but in Black YouTube, relationships is this own category. I mean, you could absolutely start a channel just talking about Black relationships because it's at the forefront of what's really going on, and you see how fast Kevin Samuels is blown up, and that's what he talks about, and helping Black men and Black women kind of see eye to eye. It's a huge subject.
Yeah. What about what sort of what would you say to Suzette Speaks? Since we're talking, the topic of today is, and I think you may have had the same topic yourself. Did we lose your audio, or are you still there?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Why beautiful, educated women are still single? How could you wrap that up? Summarize that.
Oh man. According to Suzette Speaks and some other women as well, it's because of the way that they were taught, the way that they were brought up. They say that they were taught not to depend on a man, to go out and get it themselves. And that's what they have done. So, they were in college and they were looking to get their studies, right? And then they graduated from college and got their master's, graduated from their master's. Some of them got their, PhDs, or they got their MBAs or JDs or whatever, MAs, whatever. And then, once you get your degree, you start working, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. So then, you got to work from the bottom and, try to go up. And, here and there, I'm sure, women have had a guy or two come around, maybe when they were in a relationship for a year or two, that didn't work out. Partly because, maybe they were focused really on their career and didn't want to make big decisions that would interrupt that career, like having children or things of that nature. And you look up now and you're 34, 36, 38, 42. And you're like, damn, where did the time go? Time goes so fast, right?
True.
And so I think that is a huge reason why women, especially who are highly educated, they just the time has kind of slipped by, and they always think, well, I'm so educated, I have a degree which is so valuable that I'm sure once I'm ready, a man will be there. I'll just get one, once I decide, once I decide to open the door, there's going to be a line out there. But when you're a woman and you open the door at 38,
Yep.
and there are dudes out there, but then, you look at all 12 of them and you're like, man, none of these are good. Whereas, if you were 26 instead of 12 dudes, there would have been like 300. And you say, well, there should be 300 now, because even though I'm 38, I've got my PhD and, I'm making $117,000 a year, but it's just the 12 dudes there. And so that's when the whole conversation comes about lowering your standards. And I know we talked about that a little bit. I kind of made funny a little bit on that pregnant pause you had.
True.
Right? Because women, if there's one thing that a woman does not want to hear, it's that she should lower her standards. And I mean, I'm not a woman, I don't want to speak out of place, but
You're right.
whenever you tell a woman to lower her standards, just expect defensiveness and immediate pushback. So, but I think that's part of reality.
Yeah.
It really is. So I think that has a lot to do with it. It's interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon.
What would you say would be just one thing that could change that? Because, just speaking in these forums and these YouTube streets, you get into a small number of people, but how would it happen more widely as far as what we should do about it?
I don't understand the question. What's the question?
The question is, what can be done about all of these single educated, beautiful women who are still single? What can be done about that?
Yeah, it needs to. What needs to be done is that a woman needs to stop, and not that she's not, but when you phrase the question like that, what needs to be done about all these women? A woman just needs to say, okay, forget about all these women. Let me just look at myself, all right? Because these women, let them make mistakes. I can't control them. So what am I going to do? And I think the first thing that a woman needs to do is to decide to, if marriage is a real priority, not just in words, but in real life, a woman needs to decide to expand her options as much as reasonably possible. Now, that could mean moving. If you're a Black woman in Atlanta, you are competing. That's one of the things that Suzette said. In fact, when she came on the very first time, I said, well, why is it that you look this good and you're this educated and this and that, but you're single? And the first thing that she brought up was competition.
Yeah.
She's living in a place apparently where there are a lot of women and a lot of attractive women.
Yep.
So you have already placed yourself behind the 8 ball. No one forced you to live there. Let's just assume that Suzette is over 32 years old, right? She has the power to move and she's decided not to. So she is placing herself in a situation where she has to compete with a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
That's a decision.
Right.
And you're making it hard on yourself. All right. So now you're in a place where there's a lot of competition. What is the best way to reach a lot of people in 2021? Obviously, it's online. Obviously, it's using the internet.
Right.
And she's not doing that. Is that me or you? I'm sorry, I think that.
So that's me.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure it wasn't me. So she's not on the internet, and she's decided to live in a place where there's a high level of competition, and she's decided to not use the internet. I mean, what after that? I mean, the combination of those two things. What do you want? What's the objective that you are expecting?
Uh-huh.
Right. So, and even so, I would, if she doesn't want to move, moving has huge transactional costs, right? So I understand that. But even getting on the dating sites. Now, she said that she's used dating apps before and she just felt like it wasn't the season to use them now. And what I hear is that it's not the season to prioritize a husband. And it might not be, right? A lot of people don't need to get married, right? A lot of people.
Right.
So it might not be the season to prioritize, but just be honest and say, I'm not prioritizing marriage, as opposed to saying, oh yeah, marriage is my number one thing. I want to be a housewife. I want to have kids. It's my number one thing. And then where do you live? Oh, in a place that has a lot of competition. Okay. And are you using the number one tool that can expand your reach? No, I've decided not to use that. It's not the right season.
Good.
See, I see some contradictions. So
Yeah.
maybe my number one thing would be to remove the contradictions.
Fair points, counselor. Fair points. She's going to be
Yeah.
after you on next week.
She is. She is. November 3rd. She's gonna have you. She's gonna have your boy in the hot seat. I'm excited.
That will be interesting. So you guys listen to tune into that episode. When is that going to be? You said it was Wednesday?
Yes, next Wednesday, November 3rd at 3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m. Tune into the next episode of The Lead Attorney and Suzette Speaks.
Yes.
It's like a whole series.
It is, right? I'm thinking, someone put in the chat that maybe we should do this like once a month or something like that. So maybe that's a great idea. Let me ask you, you are married and she's not, and y'all are living in the same place, what do you think she should change?
I think she should do all of the things that both yourself just said just now, and that Kevin Samuel suggests, as far as taking on the role of what a wife should be.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like a little bit foreign to what we've been taught. We're taught to be strong women and independent and all of that stuff. That's what we know. So number one, I'm so happy that I'm not in that position right now.
Yes.
But if I was, I would take that on. I would learn from. It's like now we know what the secret is, right? Now we know what the road to finding a husband is. Let's walk that road. Let's take that advice. So I would absolutely do what you guys are saying. I've moved, and I could move anywhere. I mean, when I was single, I could have moved anywhere. I almost moved to. I lived in New York for 7 years.
Wow.
Before coming here. I left the UK, and even when I was in the UK, I left my hometown to go to Oxfordshire. I spent about 6 years there, 8 years there.
Wow.
Then I moved to New York for 7 years. Then I moved to Florida, and I've been in Florida for about 20 years or so. 15 years or so. But I would be prepared to move for a relationship. If I moved for a job, I would be happy to move for a relationship. So number one, I would move. And number two, when I was single, you talked about the dating apps. I used
Yes,
every dating app that was out there,
absolutely.
right? But
Absolutely.
then I happened to meet my husband in a local venue. So
Awesome.
I actually didn't meet my husband on an online app, but I wasn't opposed to it. I would
Right.
absolutely because I actually like the dating apps because you can be quite specific for what you're looking for,
Yes,
and
exactly.
weed out all the noise. But there's just so many jokers out there, man, online.
Yeah, it's
And they have
true.
they have so many options. They
It's
have
true.
they have them. I think everybody has so many options, so it's almost like they move on to the next one so quickly, you know.
But
So
that
there's a lot.
happens in real life too, though, right?
Yeah,
Or
true,
no? I
true.
mean, yeah, everybody has, and that's the thing. Maybe it was before. Men have always said that women have a lot of options. That from our perspective, because you guys have something that we want. And so it's so funny to hear women say, "Oh, well, now in 2021, men have options like that's a bad thing," not realizing that women have always had all these options, right? So it's
Yeah,
like, oh, now that we're kind of equal, now you women don't like it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because we always see that you women kind of y'all can pick and choose.
So Nancy Speak says, "I'm not missing that show. I'm not missing that."
Yeah, let's see if the lead attorney gets beat up on Suzette Speaks. It's interesting.
All right, the lead attorney. I so thank you for coming on tonight. I know that you must be tired after doing your mammoth. What was 5 hours? But five hours isn't that big for you. You've done an 8 hour and what was the
Yeah,
last
I've done a 9 hour, really.
9 hours?
Yeah, 9 hours, but I don't do those anymore. I don't know whether it's 'cause I'm getting old or I'm getting cranky. Usually after 4 hours, I start looking at my watch. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, what are we doing? Right. So
yeah,
5 hours is like, okay, guys, I'm ready to go. I am
yeah.
absolutely ready to go. But yeah, I appreciate you having me up here. And thank you so much, Millissa. Really, really appreciate it. Love all your content. I'm waiting on all of these Instagram videos that I need so I can learn how to use this thing.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm just excited for you. And I want to thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a good night, and thanks again. I really, really appreciate you making time for my show tonight.
No problem. Thank you, Melissa. And everybody in the chat. Shout out to Gail. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Good night. Take care.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys, but if the lead attorney shows up, you know what's up, right? You know what time it is, right? Community Solutions.
Yeah, you kick us to the curb. That's okay.
I kick you down for a bit. When you are having your show and the lead attorney comes up, you're gonna do the same thing.
I may not. I got some folk that I know that they high up there, but the lead attorney is real down to earth, so
Yeah.
he knows I'm country, and he from Decatur, so he know.
Where are you based?
I'm out of Louisiana right now. I'm in Massachusetts, but I'm out of Louisiana. That's where I'll be doing most of my show. But hopefully, if I get to a high point with the YouTube, I'll be able to travel around to different
Oh,
communities and different states. So
that's beautiful, and you're doing such great things. And you talked about buying a some land. I believe, was it land or a property for like 25 grand or something like that? And
property, I want property.
property. What
Yeah,
what you got it?
I want my grocery store. That's my dream.
Ah, that's it.
My little grocery market, my little there's one in my city, but it's like a health food store. It's like small, like a Trader Joe's, and it's like all kinds of vitamins, and they got fresh fruits and vegetables. That's kind of like what I want to do. It's not a big, huge, big market like Walmart or anything like that. It's just like a little community grocery store.
Okay. What? Why is it? Why is it you have this? I guess passion for doing this community work that you're planning to do.
Um, you mean as far as a grocery store, or just like the different things that I do in the
The
community,
different
like
things in the
volunteering?
community. Where does that come from? Where does that drive? Where does that, you have to have a big heart to do stuff like that.
Um, I kind of was always involved. I wasn't really involved in LA because it was just so, LA is such a hustle place. You have to hustle.
Uh-huh.
And it's gotten even worse over the years. But in this city, it's easy to move around, to get to know your politicians, to get involved in different projects and things that are going on in the community. Like if something needs to be voted on, or if there's an issue with the environment that's causing sickness to the neighborhoods, that type of thing. Just it's just an involvement, being involved in things that are affects our lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going to things for young people, dealing with my friend's community kids, not LLC, her 501c3 nonprofit, children who are, there's a lot of need with certain communities of children that is not being met. So it's just something that the spirit of charity, I guess,
Uh-huh.
is why I care so much. And I think about uh, the aspect of the kind of world we're going to live in, the kind of world we're passing on to children. Are we giving them compassion? Do we care how things are, or is it going to be a world where we just hide ourselves in the house and lock the door and get the gun?
Just stay online on YouTube.
It's a bulletproof vest and everything, but I so that I just that's just the thing that I do. And I guess getting older, I would see old people volunteering and stuff, and I kind of understand too. It's a good way to stay involved and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's really and truly a blessing.
Good for you. That's wonderful. Let's go back to the topic at hand. I want to thank she stole my thunder for coming up, and she had to drop down to go get dinner, and also thank our friend. What was his name again?
I
Let me go.
missed his name.
I got it here. Nick Spartan. Thank Nick Spartan for tuning in, and definitely we'll connect again uh, at some other time. But I want to kind of see if we can talk about solutions. I mean, not that we can, single handedly here, but based on all we've talked about today, educated, single, beautiful women are out there and they are possibly looking for husbands and not finding them. Yeah, come back up anytime you want. She stole my thunder. Absolutely, anytime you want. Um, that's the problem. The single educated black woman and beautiful not finding a husband partner if they want them. Obviously, if they don't, I'm not talking to the ones who don't. I'm talking to the ones that do. How can we? How can? Because here's the thing: most of us were brought up to seek our education first, seek to be independent, and then uh, later we realize, oh, we don't have a man. Let's focus on that, and we kind of have to relearn things. But there's no necessarily there's no school for this, right? There's no
Yeah.
one place to go to get this knowledge. We're getting a lot of stuff from Kevin Samuels. Not everybody knows about Kevin Samuels, as big as he is. So, what would be your thought as far as how we're going to change this narrative, community solutions? And I'm going to ask. She stole my thunder. The same question.
Um, I think that in my oh shoot, wait a minute. Do you have an echo?
No,
Oh, okay.
do you hear it?
Um, yeah, I didn't know if it was me, but I think what Kevin Samuels does that I do like is he has mixers for people to meet each other, and I think if each of us could like kind of gather together with like-minded people to just sit and talk and have like a group think where people meet each other and talk, openly and candidly, and get to know each other and stuff in a safe environment and stuff like that. That could be a solution. Like the lead attorney just said, you know, you get real busy, you get wrapped up in your career. You got to do this, you got to do that, and time can pass you by. So, well, one thing I do well, one of the many organizations I participate with NAACP, there are a lot of young attorneys, young professional people, and they network.
Right.
And that's how you get to meet people of like mind, you
Yeah.
know. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with, because I've always dated blue collar guys,
Uh-huh.
you know, and blue collar guys certainly in Louisiana, they make big banks, so they are totally capable um of making you a housewife if that's what you choose to do.
Okay.
I know professional women two professional women in particular who've been married a long time and have kids, highly professional people in kind of stressful work,
Uh-huh.
and their families are the successful family dynamic where, you know, they have their children, they live their lives, and you know, they go on about their business. So it's doable.
Yeah.
You know, education is not something that you use it as a sword; it's a tool. You know, so but
Yeah.
yeah, I think that perhaps if we can, each of us, like if you're in, I'm sorry, I forgot what part of Florida you're in, but if we can make mixers for these young Black people where they can just kind of meet and maybe have some nice little catering,
Uh-huh.
maybe some activities that they might like, something that's interesting for them,
I love it.
and just kind of interact, you know, with one another and have discussions so many times a month or whatever, that, you know, just to expand the social circle. Another thing I noticed about this generation, they lonely. This
Oh,
generation is lonely.
yeah.
Like they like people tell me that, I mean, so many people is like, oh, they lonely. Like you don't have a social structure, you know, of people that you can just even interact with on a human level.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good on some level, and I'll probably think about putting something like that together myself in my own city. Um,
Community solutions. Yeah, that's a solution. So community solutions, that's definitely something that you should do.
yeah.
I've always thought about doing something like this myself, because when I was single, I would always hope that there would be things that were not necessarily singles events, but they were just events that would allow you to the opportunity to mingle. Now, I got involved in a lot of it's called professional networking events, and that afforded me the ability to meet a lot of people. But you know, there's a few things that happen here. I would definitely I would definitely love to take that on as a project to make more forums and make more events, networking events where we can do this. Guess who's just joined us? Before the Billions, let's bring him up and then we'll hear from She Stole My Thunder. Welcome, Before the Billions. How you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well.
How are you? Before we get to She Stole My Thunder, could you just give us a little introduction of who you are and your channel?
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing well. And what's up, everybody? This is William from Before the Billions. I am a professional data engineer, and on my channel, I go into many different discussions about different topics and also do interviews on my channel. So if any of those things have interested you, then please go check out my channel. Thank you so much, Millissa Jayne, for having me up on the panel.
Absolutely. So, the question on the table today is why beautiful, educated women are still single. We're jumping on the back of the discussion with the lead attorney, with Suzette Speaks, and the Godfather Kevin Samuels joining on two occasions. But we're coming towards the end of the conversation. But I wanted to ask for some. Let's look at solutions. So, She Stole My Thunder. What do you think? What was the question now? What can be done about the plethora of beautiful, educated women that are single in finding relationships and getting married? if they choose to. And Gail did put a comment in. The women who don't want a man are usually the ones who are always complaining. If you don't want or need one, why talk about it? Very, very good point. So I'm specifically talking about the women who do want them. She stole my thunder. What do you think can be a solution to this?
Well, it's sort of to build on. By the way, hello, before the billion, or the bougie billionaire, as we all know him.
Oh,
Hey,
Um,
she stole my thunder.
you followed me everywhere I'm going, huh? No, I did,
oh
I did.
by the way, is Suzette on tonight? Because I think she said that she was about to go on after me. Does,
I'm
does
I'm
anybody
not sure. Yeah, no, I wouldn't know personally.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. She
Okay.
said she had a time, but then they went over. But I think she was gonna go over. But I don't see her on the live, so she
Oh,
might have just
okay.
did something quick and went off.
Oh,
Hmm.
all right. So yeah. So she stole my thunder. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. But no, it's to sort of build on what Community Solutions said. It's ultimately, to me, it's you have to give yourself opportunity to find the things that you're looking for. So if you are looking for, it's sort of to touch upon what Gail Lockett had said. If you are genuinely looking for a relationship, if you genuinely want that, and you want to be a housewife or whatever they say, you have to give yourself opportunity to do it. So like you guys had mentioned, you know take the 2 minutes to go to a museum, take the 2 minutes to go to a movie, take the 2 minutes to go on a YouTube panel or whatever. Put yourself out there, you know what I mean? Because if you're not taking that chance on yourself, who's going to take that chance on you? If you're not putting yourself out there and making it very clear that, hey, I'm here, I'm ready for a relationship, I want to be married, I want to be a housewife. Or even if you don't want to immediately be a housewife, but you want to be in a relationship, um, make those opportunities. Because if you're at work 60, 70 hours a week, what woman would want you? If I'm taking it as a perspective of a single woman. If a potential man is always at work, I'm going to take that as a message of, well, he doesn't really want to be in a relationship, or at the very least, he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me. So
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of reversing that as well for men. If they see that a woman is always busy, 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 well, that's a clear message that she doesn't take you as a priority, or doesn't take relationships as a priority. So take that time out to go to a museum, go to a movie, whatever activity. Start with the activities that you enjoy. And it sounds ridiculous to say, oh, join a YouTube panel, but I know a lot of women that say, I love books, I love movies, I love whatever. Join a YouTube panel where that's what they talk about. And you never know who you're going to meet and when. And it sort of ties back into what you were saying. Would you move to be with a man? But if that guy genuinely has an interest in books, and you met through a YouTube channel that talks of, has a book club, that might be, you never know, that might be the guy, the love of your life. You start talking about, oh, you like that book, well, so do I. And you never know how or when you're going to meet that quote unquote Mr. Right. So it's really giving yourself that opportunity wherever you see it. And like you said, in sort of what other panelists have said, it's, don't use your education or your money or whatever it is as a weapon against us. Oh, I'm doing this better than you. Na 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 na, boo boo. Stick your head. It's like, no. It has to be always presented in a way that, yes, I happen to be attractive, I happen to be educated, but never as a way of to be against that person. And it's always as a way of building that person. I think Big Guy Journey had a live stream earlier. Was it him or another YouTuber? I think it was, no, it was sorry, it was Trash Can Waves, where he had mentioned that one of the first women that he started dating had kind of just like snuck in and like organized his stuff, and he was like, at first I was mad at her, but I realized, well, like, I need to get my things organized. I am disorganized. So sometimes it's like, just doing little acts of kindness that you see that this person is struggling and having a hard time with this, but you're good at it. You know, sometimes just doing those little things that sometimes for you it's just it's normal to be organized, it's normal to be, you know, good at finances or whatever. Use what you know to add to that person's life, even if they don't ask, even if they're mad at you at the time. Just add to that person's life, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But also having that like honest conversation with yourself. If you really don't want to be in a relationship, just say, hey, you know what, I'm not ready for that. That's really not where I'm going with my life right here right now, but best of luck with you, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just, you know, for both men and women, I'm obviously taking that as a perspective as a woman, but men also need to have that honest, like, I'm really looking for a relationship, or hey, no, you know what, I'm just looking for a one night stand. And you know, that woman that's made it clear to you that she wants a relationship, maybe she's not the one that you need to be going after, you know?
Very interesting. It all kind of starts with you. It all kind of starts with the, you know, the individual. From if I was to try to summarize that up.
Exactly, exactly.
All right. So we have a question here, or really a comment question. Is it that educated women intimidate some or most men, and could this be an issue of a power struggle between the sexes? All right. At this time, I want to give before the billions a chance to speak. So the overall question is, why are beautiful, educated women still single? Now, I know that you've heard most of the discussions on this topic um, with the lead attorney and Suzette Speaks. You may have even heard the two incidents where the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, joined in. What are your thoughts on that before the billions? And maybe you want to sort of address this question as well.
Yes. So I was actually on the panel right after Kevin Samuels left the first time.
Ah,
Um,
yes.
yeah. So I wish they kind of kept the clip going a little bit longer, so that way I could be in the clip too. But I was right
Oh,
after he jumped off. But
oh, right.
yeah. So my I guess I can only speak from opinion based off of what I've seen.
Sure.
Of course, I'm not a educated woman or anything, but
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um, I think it's more so about pickiness. I think it's like, hey, you know what? You chose somebody probably in your past, or it's not like the argument is like they've never been in a relationship before.
Uh-huh.
It's the fact of, oh, they probably were in a relationship beforehand, and then now they are single.
Yep.
Um, due to whatever. Most of the time, if you listen to Kevin Samuels or something like that, it's like, oh, well, they chose their career or um their job or their degree over a relationship. Um, but yeah, it's just it's who we choose to be with at the end of the day. It kind of is individual, based on the individual. Of course, not every college educated woman is single. It's more so, we're talking about the ones that are, and I think that they either chose to be single, like they could have had a good relationship,
Uh-huh.
um, or maybe it's like, hey, maybe their parents told them that, hey, you need to be successful in this,
Uh-huh.
and then you need to wait to until you're successful, before you can actually get into a relationship and get married and stuff like that. And they probably heard that
Uh-huh.
their whole life,
Right.
and then they just internalize it, and then they wake up um, in their 40s or something like that, and then now it's been so much time has passed that they could have been working on their relationship skills.
Right.
Yeah, but I just know that like my mom, she always complains that there's not any good men and all this other kind of stuff, and the only men that she gets are the ones that look raggedy. But that's that's how it is at the end of the day. When my mom, she's in her 40s, and she just you know,
Is she
chose
single?
not to be in a relationship. Yeah, she's single.
Oh, oh, did you say she chose not to be in a relationship?
Yeah, now she's saying I don't even want to be in a relationship anymore because um there's not many to choose from, not any good options.
Oh, interesting. So that's a whole interesting dynamic there. Um,
Right.
in relation to this question that Angela, greetings Angela, asked, is it that educated women intimidate some or most men, and could this be an issue of power struggle between the sexes? What is your opinion on that?
Honestly, I don't think that a man is going to be intimidated per se
Uh huh.
by somebody who has a degree.
Uh huh.
I mean, look at there are plenty of examples of women who have gotten with, I don't know if you want to say the Pookies and Ray Rays, and they have been PhDs. So I don't think that a man is necessarily going to be intimidated. Of course, there's going to be some person who's insecure about themselves and like, hey, you know what? I don't want you talking about your degrees because I don't have degrees or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
But I don't think that it's necessarily like, oh, because you got your degree now, that means you can't get a man. I think that you most definitely could get a man, but it's just because you chose somebody who was not a good fit for you, then now you're, choosing to be single. You're pretty much choosing to be single at this point.
Right. So, Gail's response to this, a big shout out to Gail Lockett, who's moderating tonight, and she's moderating at least on another place. I just checked Suzette's live, which Gail said. Um, so, big shout out to Gail, who moderates many streams at the same time. She is just so awesome. Thank you so much for that. She said, I don't think men are intimidated by a woman's education or money. It's the fact that it's dangled over the man's head as if they're better than him. Wow. Wow. Yeah, of
Hey,
course. Which man would want to stick around for that? What,
hey,
what
Melissa
do you want me
Jane.
to say?
Yeah, I do have to drop. I'm actually doing a gale at the moment where I'm going to the gym super late at night. So
Oh,
so I
well,
do appreciate everybody, and thank you so much, Melissa Jane, for having me up on the panel.
absolutely. Thank you for stopping by, and you're welcome to come by anytime, as you know.
Bye
Make
Thank you
before
sure
the
to
so
billions.
much.
Work out for me.
Have a good,
yeah,
have
exactly. I was about to say, make sure to lift an extra weight for us.
Yes, yes, I will.
Hmm.
I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you
catch
so
you later.
much. Bye bye.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a person that likes to find solutions, and you've both given some pretty good suggestions for solutions as far as having mixers, having um, community events where people can get together and socialize. It doesn't have to be called a singles event because sometimes I believe that when something is titled singles, it really turns people off. What do you say about that? Community solutions.
That's true. Well, I wouldn't so much make well, I don't know. Cause I was just about to say I got friends who are married, I got friends who are single, and it could be a date night for like She Stole My Thunder said, maybe we can make different things. It could be a day at the museum or some kind of community event where everybody can just meet up and just enjoy each other's company. It doesn't necessarily have to be
Mm,
geared towards singles.
mhm,
That is a thought, but there's
mhm,
actually a whole ministry geared towards singles that is for people who want to connect. So I mean, I guess you could mix it up without it being mix it up with singles and married people. I don't see anything wrong with that.
mhm, mhm. I think she stole my thunder. You pretty much kind of said that before. Do you want to add anything to that?
I'm not 100%. I mean, obviously, like you said, sometimes just the terminology that's used to these kinds of events are you're right that it could intimidate people or turn people off.
Yeah.
So when you focus it on more the activity itself,
Yeah.
but I mean to some degree because obviously if your objective is as a single person to meet somebody and to potentially get married, you may need events where it's clearly single people looking, having, a quote unquote event for them where it is. And I mean, more, it would basically, I guess the best way to do it is if it were to be with a quote unquote dating app or something like that, where it was clear that, okay, it's organized by a dating app, so automatically everybody that's at that event are single and are looking to be in a relationship. I forgot what it's called, but in here in Montreal we had a few events where you had these mixers where people would go, but it was for, everybody that was there knew that we were there to learn a language. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So everybody who had that same purpose. So even though it wasn't necessarily we're all there to learn French, we're all there to learn Spanish, but we all knew that we were there to meet people that
Right.
potentially would be willing to help us learn whatever language that we were going to or that we wanted to learn. So you might have to have events where it's clearly labeled for single people, because even though, like, community solutions, there's nothing technically wrong with having events where both single people and married couples or couples in general are there. At some point, if your ultimate goal is to get married, is to be in a relationship, you will need to go to events where everybody knows the rules, everybody knows what's going on, everybody knows that, like, look, we're all single, we're all looking to be in a relationship. You might not necessarily find somebody, but we're all there to find somebody somewhere. And that's the basic objective for everybody in there, so
Yeah, because a lot of the times some of these married people go showing up to these when they know they're single events, just to play and just to get in the way sometimes. But
yeah.
I think there could be a mixture of some single some things that are specifically for singles, and some things that are just events, just people things. And what I would like to do is to have an event. It's not necessarily called a singles event, but we kind of know it sort of underneath, and but we do some activities that allows people to speak to each other, because a lot of the times you might go to a single event, or you might go to an event, but it's not that kind of opportunity to speak to somebody. And not everybody's as brave to just walk up to somebody and say hi. Not everybody is as brave as that. So having some activities that will allow or lead you to have to speak to somebody, I think would be a good thing as well. So that's something I'm thinking about. So I have not that I have enough projects on my hands already. Maybe somewhere down the road when COVID is no more, hopefully, and when things open up, maybe I'll do something like that. But yeah, so we're looking for solutions. We're looking for solutions to make things better. I think the mindset has to be changed a little bit, because again, we've been taught one thing, and now we're realizing that we kind of need to be a little bit more open-minded. There are certain things that we know for sure that are off-putting to men, and we just need to be, if we want to be in marriages, there's certain uh there's certain adjustments we need to make. I'll put it like that. But there are certain adjustments. A single woman's mindset is a little bit different than a married woman's mindset, or a person who's looking for a marriage, will looks for. It's a different kind of mindset. Do we have any other comments in the chat? Does anybody else want to jump up here and join in? I see that Suzette's stream has finished. I was hoping to jump on hers for a little bit as well. Do we have any other thoughts in the chat room? Nancy speaks. Are you still with us? I would love to give you the opportunity to come up as well. And is that the name of your channel, Nancy speaks? Anybody else that has YouTube, I would love to give you the opportunity to come on up. Any other thoughts from the ladies on the panel? Feel free to unmute and Friendsgiving. Hey, how you doing? Did you come over from Suzette Speaks? How you doing, Friendsgiving? Thanks for coming over. And I also want to say a big thanks to those who subscribed today. My new subscribers. Big thanks to you guys. When I was up on the Leader Turney's channel tonight, earlier this evening, and of course, Gail Luckett dropped my channel in there, so I gained a few subscribers. So thank you for those who have just joined. It's amazing to see the growth of this channel. You know what? Like the leader Tony says, relationships are what everybody's talking about right now. So, as much as I'm a techie, I would like to talk about tech all night long. We're going to be talking about relationships, but I do want to give you one tip. I do want to give you one tech tip tonight. And somebody brought this to my attention. Who uses Instagram? If you use Instagram in the chats, just drop in an I in the chats if you use Instagram. Let me know if you're an IG person. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to show you something. Yep, she stole my thunder, likes Instagram. Does anybody else use Instagram? Does anybody else discover this tip today? I'm about to share my screen for a minute. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and share my Instagram page. Yep, and this is actually novelty that showed me this trick. Friendsgiving said I deleted my Instagram. I wonder why. Why did you delete it? Were you being harassed over there? So we have 3 people. There's like 19 people in here. 3 people are using Instagram. If you're not using Instagram, then say not. Put in a 2 or a not that you're not using Instagram. Alma uses Instagram. Hey Alma, welcome. Good to have you here. A lot of people are here and they're just watching in the background. Hey SF Richie. SF Richie, welcome to the show. FS Richie doesn't use Instagram. Okay. Does anybody else? 1 if you use Instagram and a 2 if you do not. Veronica Bortz uses Instagram. I need to come see you, Veronica Bortz. Marcy uses Instagram. Who else uses Instagram? Give me a 1 if you're using Instagram. Give me a 2 if you're not. No, LOL. It was too distracting, right? It's too distracting. There's so many social medias out there. So I'm going to show you something real quick that Novelty showed me today. And I've been waiting for this feature for the longest time. Now, for the most part, I'm going to have to make this big. I'm going to have to make this real big for you guys to see. Okay, there it is. You cannot add a post. These are my posts. We have this big British thing coming up on Saturday. But for the most part, you can. Oh, look, there's William. There's Before the Billions. look over there. Yeah. Anyways, for the most part, you cannot post straight to your posts. To your post, you cannot post an item to your posts from your computer. Now, I'm on my computer all day long, and I would like the ability to post from my computer to my Instagram. Well, typically I will go over to a tool called Creative Studio. It's a Facebook tool. It's a Facebook website called Creator Studio, and I would have to. As a matter of fact, I'll show you how it looks. Typically, I would go to my Creator Studio, which is right here. And within this space here, I can create my post to Instagram. I can post to Instagram from here. But now, Instagram has this little plus sign here. And right now, if I click on new post, I can actually post to my my wall, also to Reels and to IG right from Instagram on the browser. They never used to have that. It was Novelty. Big shout out to Novelty in the chat who brought this to my attention because I've been waiting for this for the longest time. I can just click on my post now, select from my computer. What shall I select? Today's flyer. And I can actually post this. Do that. Yep, I can post this now to. I don't need no filter. I can put my caption in. Happening now. We're gonna finish soon, but and then I could just go ahead and post that. Post it to my Instagram right from my computer. Novelty showed me this was it yesterday or today? Yesterday, probably yesterday. If I just refresh my page now. There is the post. So now that we can post this from our computer, I could be a lot more efficient. I don't have to go to my phone because, to be honest with you, using my phone is not. I don't really like to use my phone so much to post all the time. I like to be able to do it from my computer since I'm on my computer. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that quick tip for today. That's the tech tip for today. Yes, that was yesterday. Novelty says that's the quick tip for today. I hope you like it and find.
Excuse me.
Yes,
How
my dear.
how how dare you show this to me now? Now I'm gonna be up all night doing this. How dare you? You know how many photos I have that I would love to post on Instagram, but was like, how do I get this from my computer to Instagram? How dare you
Ah.
do this to me? How dare you? To shame! To shame! Oh, we're gonna have to start the war between France and England again. How dare you do this to me? Oh, no,
Well, you
no,
know
it's a
what?
great tip. It's a great tip. Thank
You
you.
are doing such a great job. I've got to tell you, she saw my thunder with all of these intros you're doing for people. Congratulations. And you are providing such value and not only just being on panels, because you're always on a lot of different people's panels, not only doing that, but creating these intros for people and your own show. As a matter of fact, can you just tell us about your YouTube channel, please?
Sure, sure, sure. Why not? And don't tell this to Uncle Stu. Shh, it's our secret. His intro was the first intro I've done that like full length intro. I didn't even do my own intro. I paid somebody to do my intro. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But because he asked, and look, when Uncle Stu goes to you and takes you out on the line of people of YouTube and says, "Can you do this for me?" You don't say no. You just nod your head and you do it. So when Uncle Stu said, "Caroline, can you do this? Can you do this for me?" Sure, sir. Yes, no problem, sir. Yeah, no problem. Yes, I will be there for you. No problem. But to me, it was one of those because like many of people here, I'm getting into YouTube sort of as that person that had that dormant YouTube channel. I've had YouTube for several years.
like me.
Never really, exactly. I never really looked at it as a money making tool because I never looked at it at myself ultimately, if I'm going to be honest,
Hmm.
as as a money making
Hmm.
way, as a way to express. I never looked at myself as I have something important to say or do. And even for my the couple of live streams that I said, the last one I did, I'm like, you know what, let me do these intros. It'll also get me used to using OBS and StreamYard and all these different things and see all these different features.
Yeah.
And so for me, my YouTube channel, I hope to get more into arts and talking about photography, because I am, as I like to joke around a little bit, I'm an amateur professional photographer. I've
Uh-huh.
been paid a couple times, but nothing really,
Okay. Okay.
nothing. I'm not making millions out of it, but I definitely would love to, talk more about art. And I do want to start a series, hopefully, of, speaking of, the music, going to the museums. I do visit museums quite a bit, and I would like to start a series about that as well. And this Sunday, everybody's invited. I will be having a Spooktober Fest where everybody is welcome to join. You're allowed to present your scariest. Ooh, oh my God. What are you guys gonna? Your scariest story. 5 minutes tops, but you can read it, you can act it out. It could be a
Oh,
video. So, yes, you're both of you guys and everybody else listening is invited to join the panel with your scariest stories. Come one, come all. And I hope to this Saturday as well to continue another series that I started in conjunction originally with Before the Billions, where I basically talk about movies and whether there's books turned into movies, video games turned into, or just direct movies and so forth. So again, hopefully I'll have something this Saturday as well on that. But hopefully people will come to my channel and participate in the panels in whatever way. But again, whatever I do with editing, please shh, don't tell Uncle Stu. He was my first experiment in doing, and to me, it was really more of a fun project to do and something, like I said, to really just get into it. And I'm learning a lot of the tech stuff and what everything does, and oh, what's OBS, what's Canva, what does it do. And it was a really great fun way for me to learn a lot of these things.
Good. That's really, really good. Friendsgiving says, she stole my thunder. You are fantastic. It is a great intro, and I love how you clip him up. You really did a good job. I really liked it. I saw it for the first time today, I think. I think I
Yeah.
saw it today. Um, did he do a stream today?
Yes, he did, I believe. Was it today or yesterday?
Or was it
No,
yesterday?
I think, yeah, it was yesterday. But no, Uncle Stu, he's that kind of person that even in his serious moments, there's funny stuff, there's funny moments, and he's very open, very honest. Which is why I was saying, look, when he comes up and he asks you for something, you just say yes and you do it, because when he supports you, he's gonna give you 150% of your support, and he's not going to hold back, and he's there for you no matter what, through thick and thin. God knows I've said my nonsense on YouTube, and if anybody recognizes my voice, you'll know where, you'll know why. But we all have our nonsense, but he's the kind of guy that he'll be there for you through thick and thin, and love you and support you no matter what. And like I said, for me, just doing his intro was a pleasure for him. It's nothing. I didn't mind it at all. So
Yeah, I'm going to come back to community solutions in a second, but I also wanted to say a big, big congratulations to you. She stole my thunder. Didn't you hit a milestone? Didn't you hit like a 13-hour stream or something like that?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, yeah, it was literally, I think it was officially 13 hours and 17 minutes.
Ooh,
Unfortunately, darn YouTube, cut a last hour and a half of it out. And I
oh,
have no way of recuperating it. But hey, it's okay. I know it happened. You know it happened. Everybody happened. It's okay. Next time I'll learn my lesson to use OBS to record. But yeah, it was over 30 hours, and I can't take credit for it. It was really, people like Before the Billions. You were there as well. Of course, Criminality Solution. Thank you for being there as well. Mrs. B Finesse was there. Uncle Stu was there. Trash Can Waves were there.
everyone
You guys,
came
you
through.
guys deserve the credit. I was just Christmas decoration. I was there to look pretty, and that's about it. But it was you guys
Done.
that were there, and I hope that we have another good long stream this Sunday. But again, that will depend on all you guys and participating and bringing your scary stories. But even if it's just one of you that's there,
We'll be there.
exactly. I'm sure, and I'm
We'll push
sure
through.
exactly.
That night I was actually out seeing Melissa Morgan was in concert in Fort Lauderdale. So we went out, had date night, and so when I got back, I think I passed by for a little bit. But
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
so good to just jump on each other's sessions. Um, big shout out to Criminality Online. It's good to see you, Madame, and feel free to join us if you wish. Friendsgiving, big shout out to Friendsgiving again. Angela says good night. Enjoy discussion. Enjoy discussion. Good night to you. And Facebook user again. Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you're listening. Come over to YouTube. We're only going to be going on YouTube moving forward, because we want to grow the YouTube presence. All right, guys. So community solutions. How you feeling? What's going through your mind on today's discussion?
The one with from the lead attorney on the relationship issue.
Everything we've spoken about today.
Oh, I think that it was a productive talk, and we did come up with some ideas
Yeah.
of things that could help, which is good. Um, I need do you have a video on how to do thumbnails? I don't know how to do I'm such an amateur.
Yes, I do. I don't know if I have. Yeah, I think I do. I'll definitely clip something that I've done before and clip it out and show you. Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you used Canva before?
I used Canva for something in the past. I can't
Perfect.
remember.
What doesn't matter as long as you've used Canva. All you're gonna
Uh-huh.
do is you're gonna refresh yourself on Canva, and they have loads of even templates. All you need to do is take something that if you're brand new, take something that you already see, and just customize it to what you would want for your channel. And we can have it. We can get together offline, and
Oh,
I'll help you.
okay. Good.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, yeah, I believe that this was a very productive talk between us in the chat as well. Um, and hopefully we can just work on getting there are a lot of very attractive professional women who are single
Uh-huh.
and they are struggling
Yeah.
trying to find somebody. I don't know what it is. Um I don't know that they're necessarily leading with their education. I
Yeah.
don't
I
know
don't.
that they should hide it. I don't know. I
Mhm.
honestly don't know. Um I don't know if they're too busy, if they're not going to the right places, so that's something that we have to explore.
Absolutely. And I
Mhm.
think for me in the last year that I've started listening to um the lead attorney, Kevin Samuels, and even Anton Daniels, the mindset is a little bit different, and there is an emphasis on uh being intentional about being a wife if that's what you want, you know. And
Mhm.
I don't think that I've really kind of thought about that in that way before, not the way how I'm hearing it now. So what I would say to women, if they are looking for a husband, they have to be intentional about it. It's not something that's just going to happen. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about it, just
You
like you
know,
were intentional
times are
about.
so different. Mhm. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go.
Times are so different. Women didn't have to pursue like they do now. Like I see women proposing to men. It didn't seem like when I was coming up in my 20s, 30s, even my teens, it didn't seem like we had to pursue. It seemed as if the men pursued you.
Uh huh.
And to some extent, there's never really been an oversaturation of men. So it's not as if there was like this big, huge gap between the population of men and population. I don't know what's changed that women have to do. It seems as if women have to do the pursuing. I don't know if they're not putting themselves in the right place at the right time or if they're, I don't know. What do
Yeah.
you think?
I, as far as women proposing um and being that sort of overt with it, I'm still gonna be hanging on to my traditional thoughts and my you know, because it's not gonna be that easy for people who have learned one thing to do everything completely different. It's gonna be a process, right?
Yeah,
So I still wouldn't propose to any man, number one,
me neither.
you know.
Me neither.
But with our feminine wiles, with our with our persuasive ways about us, we can certainly maybe put the idea in his head, right?
Yeah, yeah. And maybe
Mhm.
we have to be intentional about just being direct, like women from other ethnic groups that I've
Yeah, yeah,
known who are like they're not even fooling with you if you're not marriage minded. If you playing around,
yeah.
go over there and let me get to the marriage minded man because I don't have
Right.
time to waste. And
Emphasize.
that's even in your 20s.
Right,
Okay? Because
right.
you see women sometimes 5 years gone in a relationship, sometimes 10 years gone in a relationship without a marriage. And the guy is just like, and then he'll he'll break up, y'all will break up, And a year
right?
later, he's married to somebody else.
Somebody else, because she was intentional, because she didn't hang around or mince words, right?
Yeah.
So
Time is more valuable than money. So
absolutely, I totally agree with you on that one. Um, she stole my thunder. Just to sort of wrap up everything that we've spoken about today,
Mm-hmm.
and even some of the stuff that you've seen on Kevin Samuels, Lead Attorney, and Suzette Speaks. How would you sort of just summarize everything that we've spoken about today?
Well, yeah, it's like what you guys were saying, that you have to be intentional, you have to be clear, you have to admit when you're the issue, when there's something that you're doing that's stopping you from getting your goals achieved, and admit when the other person's the problem or when both of you are the problem. And like you said, being intentional in your goals and in your life, whether it, again, if even if you're talking about career, whether you're talking about relationship, knowing what you want and knowing how to get, and sometimes realizing that, what, we have to admit, sometimes as women, we're in our own way, we're our own worst enemies,
Yep.
and we have to admit that and hopefully do the things that you need to change, and admit that sometimes we might be with the Pookie and Ray Rays and all that, and maybe it's time to step away from that person, and okay, you know what, they're clearly not the right person for me. Let me find that person that is that kind of person that I need to be, and being open and honest about that. And like I said before, just giving yourself that opportunity, because ultimately, no matter what, you're doing this for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're doing this for your own happiness, for your own life goals, and regardless of where you're at and what your ultimate goals is known what you need to do to get those goals achieved, and admitting that when you need to be, you're the one that needs to change, or when it's the other person, or maybe both, who knows.
I appreciate that. We're going to have another discussion next week, and the topic that I'm thinking about going with, and you guys, I want to get your input on the panel first and in the chat room as well. Talking about, are can a woman be fulfilled without children? Can a woman be fulfilled without children? We're not going to discuss it tonight, but what do you think about that as a topic,
I
ladies?
I definitely think it's a good topic, because I'm, personally, if I haven't made that clear, I'm single and childless. So for me, it's definitely a topic that I would be interested in talking about. But certainly, community solutions would, yeah, I'd welcome her opinion on the matter as well.
absolutely, it's something that I really it's an important topic, and uh you pull that topic up, I got some stories for you.
Ooh, good, good, good,
Yeah, some
good.
Oh,
juicy stuff,
oh.
because
Yes.
yeah, I'm a woman without children,
Okay.
and I didn't, I was intentional about it, um and uh, yeah, it'll be a good
Yeah.
topic.
It's going to be a
Yeah,
good. We're going to save it for next week, guys. We're going to save it for
yeah,
next
yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna
Friends,
get into it, but yeah, I'll
Friendsgiving
save it.
says Friendsgiving says it's a good topic too.
Hmm.
What does criminality online? I think that is a great topic, but I am a mother, but single. Not a problem. We can, you know what? We want to hear perspectives from all sides, just as the main topic today was about beautiful, educated, single women. Why are they single? Uh, I'm a married woman, but I can still talk on that topic because, listen, I only got married 7 years ago, so I had a lot of years being that category. I mean,
Single.
I consider myself beautiful. I don't know if
Hmm.
anyone else does, but and educated and
Yeah,
also to the
you
point.
had a couple of fellas look like they was gonna hit on you till they found out you was married.
Yeah. Well,
I got to go
she
back and look at
does
the. Go ahead.
she does have that sexy British accent, so of course a
Uh-huh.
lot of guys will fight for her. I'm not. She is YouTube's Bond babe, so I mean it's
So what do you think?
automatic that men will be fighting for her. That's just normal.
She stole my thunder. All you got to do is whip out that French. That French is real
That's what I
sexy.
keep telling her. She doesn't realize the power.
No, 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 no,
French
no. If
quoi
there's
quoi.
any act, No, bonsoir, bonsoir. Yeah, no. It's France and England have been having wars for generations and generations, but I'll have to admit, out of all the accents, it's the British one that wins. That's the one concession as a French person I'll give. The rest, it's France all the way, but that one, it's the British have they win the accent, the sexy accent. It's all England, all England.
It's the accent because we understand it, but people love the zhuzh of French because it's just the way y'all, the way, like you said, the way y'all move your tongue, and the words just, it's something sexy about French.
There
That's
is.
known as a romance language.
Of
Yeah.
course.
No. Look. Just because I'm here doesn't mean you have to lie to me. It's okay. You can tell me the truth.
We know
Come
it's
on.
true.
No.
We're gonna convince you of this in one way or another. And as a matter of fact, before you go to that tonight, I want to hear a little bit of French. But before we get to that, so next topic then is going to be um can you be fulfilled as a woman without children, and and we're going to explore all the different facets of that. Do you feel, is there anything as a childless shaming? Is there anything as such a thing as being without
Absolutely.
children and
Definitely, yeah.
right?
I'm in the South, and I'm almost an outcast without children.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all the areas around that. So come with your take on it. As a matter of fact, give me some topics beforehand. Send me a message beforehand, all around this idea of being child unfulfilled. Are you shamed because you don't have children? Are ridiculed or whatever? We want to go into this deep. All right, guys, is that good?
Sounds good. What day
for sure.
did you say what day you were gonna do it?
Thursday night, same time, 8 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely hit you up on that.
Put it on your schedule, because I definitely want to have both of you. Because to be honest with you, we three are in the same boat where that's concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people listen. I give a lot back to people with children. I feel like I'm more than make up for whatever it is women owe.
Perfect, bud.
So,
Sorry,
we'll save it for Thursday.
Save it for Thursday. Think about it. Bring whatever thoughts, bring whatever topics around that concept. We're going to go into it, and we're going to go into it. I think some years ago, when a woman told me she did not have kids, I looked at her sideways. But not now at all. Criminality online. Isn't criminality online? Aren't you? Isn't this something that was on the panel before? Something crime. Something
She's
crime.
a true crime lady. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought as much. Just wanted to double check. If you're in here, if you're still in here, have you hit the like button? If you're still in here and you haven't hit the like button, could you please hit the like button for the algorithms? It's not for me, and it's completely free. It's completely free to hit the like button. Also, do you see that link that Gail has dropped in? I actually want to get the link to my channel. My channel. I want you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you're here, all you need to do is click on my name. That'll take you to my main page, and you can hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate as many subscriptions as I can. Yes, I have been on the panel. Yeah. So anybody's going to be welcome to come on, whether you have children or not. I'm going to give precedence to the women who don't have kids, but I want to hear from both sides, because if you, just like that comment that Criminality Online says, just like this comment here, I think some years ago, when a woman told me she did not have kids, I looked at her sideways. We want to explore this a little bit. We want to explore why you would look at somebody sideways because they don't have kids. So we want to explore that a little bit. Even though you don't think about it and think that now, I would love to explore that a little bit more.
Yeah, because there's still a lot of people that do that. They downright just ostracize you. It's wild. And then you ask them, Well, you ask them, hey, listen, are you down to the foster care, getting all these kids that's living bad lives? I mean, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm
we're gonna
very
get into
passionate
that.
about this subject. I'm very passionate.
Ooh,
So,
I have the right person on here tonight. I have the right person
hmm
on here tonight. I'm going to actually show you how to sign up for notifications, because this was something that I, bear with me a second, guys. Bear with me 1 second, and I'm looking forward to going back and watching Suzette Speaks. Her
yeah, I see the stream ended. It's like an
it
hour and a half.
ended.
She was actually it's a pretty long stream. It's
It's
an
about
hour
an
and
hour,
46
hour and a
minutes.
half, hour and a half.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let me do this. Uh, let's see. Yeah, to do this. Actually, let me just unsubscribe so I can show you exactly what happens. All right, guys. So take a look at this. Hey, Paula Scott, you're a little bit late because we're just about to finish. We're about to finish this up. So take a look at this, guys. Paula Scott. So next week we're going to be talking about if women are fulfilled with who don't have children. I know you have a couple, but I'd love you to be a part of this conversation. She says she knows she's late. All right, so this is Suzette Speaks channel. I already had subscribed, but I just unsubscribed just so I can show you something here real quick. Let's just make this bigger so you can see everything clearly. All right, when you hit the subscribe button, guys, you have to also hit the notification bell. All right, when you hit it, it's going to give you 3 options. Just click on all, and then you'll get all all notifications. If you just hit the if you just hit subscribe but you don't hit the personalization, you might not get everything. So make sure you click all. All right, you see that, guys? Make sure you click the all so that you get all notifications. So as well as Suzette Speaks, but also go to my channel. Go to my channel. My channel is Millissa Jayne. We're streaming live right now, so it's gonna show. It's gonna show that. Let's go to my homepage. Let's go to my homepage. Let's go to my homepage of my channel, which is right here. Okay, this is what's going on right now. Click on the subscribe button. Where's the subscribe button if I'm already on my channel? Because I'm already on my channel. I don't see it, but
Yeah,
you will be able to. Go
I
ahead.
don't think you'll see your own
Yeah.
the subscribe button on your own channel.
Right.
I
So
mean, folks, she's asking you with her sexy British accent to subscribe. How can you say no, folks? I mean, honestly.
oh, she's such a what do you call it? You know,
Rebel
support.
rouser, yes, I rebel rouser. You can use that term. It's okay.
Okay, I'll be there next week on time. Awesome. We're gonna today we had a discussion about the discussion was, what was the discussion? Why beautiful, educated women are still single. Well, I know your situation, Paula Scott, so I'm not going to ask you that question, but that was the topic. That was the topic today. We had a very, very rousing conversation with Community Solutions, with She Stole My Thunder, who both have YouTube channels. And the lead attorney joined us a little bit earlier. Such an honor to have the lead attorney. I had to literally drop everybody down when he came aboard. And because we are selective, right? That's true. True that. And we had several people with their comments, and of course Gail Lockett is here showing people how to get in touch with me with my Instagram, how to get online, how to get into part of the chat. Everybody's welcome to come in. It doesn't matter who you are, you can come in and join the conversation if you have something to say. Big shout out to Gail Lockett. We really appreciate your support. She supports all the YouTubers. And again, I think we've pretty much come to the end of tonight's conversation. Why are beautiful, educated Black women still single? There's a lot of reasons. You're gonna have to go back and watch it. But education comes into it. Our parents come into it. What we're taught, what's priority. But at the end of the day, if we want to be married, we have to be intentional about it. All right. And we're going to come up with a few solutions as far as, maybe we can do some mixers. People need to definitely get out and about and make people know that you're available. And there's nothing wrong with talking to a guy, a man. You don't have to go up and say, "Oh, can I get your number?" You don't have to be as brash or as brazen as that, but you can certainly be very demure and let's say covert about it, and ask the time or ask for help on something, and just strike up a conversation. And of course, if there's interest, it will move forward, right? So that's the way how I see things. I appreciate my panel's comments tonight, both from Community Solutions. Thanks again, Community Solutions. And I look forward to having you on the panel next week. Say a couple of words to say goodbye. Community Solutions. And thank you to
I'm sorry.
No
Good
problem.
night. Thank you. I'll see you next week. And
All
She's
right,
I'll see you this weekend with your
Alrighty.
scary story. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Community Solutions.
Okay. Bye
And then,
bye.
of course, She Stole My Thunder. Thank you for your participation in tonight's conversation. It's been wonderful. Anything final for you?
Ah, merci de m'avoir sur votre panneau. C'était fantastique. J'ai apprécié. Oh my goodness. I hope to see you guys this weekend. Hopefully I'll have 2 live streams, but bonsoir et j'espère que votre soirée est aussi bonne que votre journée. Merci. Thank you so much again for having me on your panel. It was great conversation. Merci. Au revoir. Bye.
You see? Bonsoir, au revoir, merci. She has an amazing voice. Isn't that wonderful? Now she's just showing off, says criminality online. Absolutely. But I love it. I love to hear that French voice and that French accent. It's amazing. All right, guys. I know it's been a very long night. Tina Isel, good night. It's been a long night, but we've had great conversation. We're going to have some more tech tips next week. But most of all, we are going to talk about a topic that is a little bit controversial, maybe. The topic is, can a woman be fulfilled if she does not have children? Can a woman be truly fulfilled if she doesn't have children? We're going to explore that wide, far, deep, childless shaming. We're gonna go deep. We have a panel. We have a couple of people on the panel who do not have children. So we're going to go in deep, guys. So we're going to save it for next week. If you have any thoughts or questions about that, drop comments in the chat. If you have any questions that we can raise as well, drop them in this chat and we will bring them forward till next week. All right, guys. Until next week, I want you to have a wonderful night. Thank you all for commenting and participating. Get some rest, and we'll see you next week. And in these YouTube streets, I'll see you out there. And I'm going to pop into your channels from time to time. All right, guys? So let's do this thing. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay, have a wonderful, wonderful night.